Alright, hello everybody! How are you doing today? I'm super excited because today we're going to be doing Lyney's story quest. We learned a lot about Lyney and Lynette during the Archon quest. After all, we had to, Lyney's doing his tricks, rescue him and clear his name after he was falsely accused of murder. But thankfully we did it because it turned out he was framed. And the framing went wrong, and it made it a very, very complicated case. But we also learned a little bit about Lyney and Lynette and their history and their past, and their ties with the House of the Hearth. And it seems like we left off with Ether not being on super good terms with them, although I think that Ether is being a little bit too harsh. But I guess we're going to follow up on that now. And I'm super glad to see Lyney and Lynette again. See what's going on in their lives and what sort of sad or traumatic backstory we are going to see in this story quest. But before we do any of that, hello there. You might notice that there's an empty spot in the lineup, and that is because... ta-da! Today is the day that Femine is gonna be released. Or he is released. And that's amazing, because then I can reunite the siblings together. I'm gonna be pulling on Zhongli's banner, because I already have Tartaglia, who is now in jail. It does not appear to be his fault, although who knows what is truly going on behind the scenes here in Fontaine. I just hope that he is innocent and we can break him out, but I am curious to see whether that is true or not. At any rate, I'm sure he will find a way out of prison regardless. That being said, I have Layla, but other than Layla, I don't really have a good shield character, so I guess I wouldn't actually mind if I pulled Zhongli. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure my most recent pull was Lyney, so I don't think it's very likely I'm going to get a 5-star, but who knows? These wishing sessions can be very, very interesting. So without further ado, let's see if we can get Femine. Yay! Yay, it's time to bring him home! Alright. Nothing there. Nothing there. The usual. You know, we've seen all this before, right? Alright, we've seen Noelle before. This is like an all Claymore 4-star set. I think I would love more Sayu constellations because I'm pretty sure I don't have her C6. But I really just want Femine. Alright, that was 10. 20. It's been a while since I got an early 5-star, so I'm just thinking, you never know, right? But at the same time, the goal here, I have a goal in mind of what I'm trying to do, and that's not it. But maybe, okay. Oh well. 30, let's keep going. Alright, to be expected. Well, imagine it's another Noelle. It is not another Noelle. I'm starting to get the sense this is not going to be a very good luck search for 4-stars, which is... It's taking me so long to get every 4-star in the game so far. And 40 pulls. Who knows? Maybe Femine will continue that streak of not being able to get the 4-star. Maybe he's shy. Maybe we need to go into the water. You know what, after this? Oh, we don't need to go in the water. Yay! Oh, I'm so happy. It's Femine and Pear. The penguin is so cute. Alright, I'm happy. Mission accomplished. We have gotten Femine. We've reunited him with his siblings, and we're now gonna go on an adventure. Yay! Hello! I want him to hold the penguin. You can hold Pear. Or he can go into his zoning out the world mode. Zoning it out from all of the horrors and things he has had to do. All in the name of protecting his family. Poor Femine. But it is okay. Let's see. Yay! He is in the water, where he knows he is safe and can find a nice and quiet place to spend time with the sea creatures. Right? These things are super cute. Alright. So I am gonna level him up a little bit. But not all the way. Because that's a lot. And, I'm doing this right. Yeah, okay. Just gonna... Oh no, he's zoning out again! Alright. I have some materials for him, so that's good.
Are you sure?
I am very sure. Yes, you deserve everything. You deserve it all, Femine. I know that he is a damage dealer, but he seems pretty confusing.
You didn't have to do this for me, you know.
Of course.
I'd obey you regardless.
No, but I wanna use... But it's not just about orders, you know? What about friendship? When you have a reason to fight, then that makes it even more worthwhile, right? Yeah, I'm really interested to see. I wonder if he'll have a hangout. That will be fun. Let me see. I don't know if I have enough of the sea creature stuff, and honestly, I don't want to hurt any more innocent sea creatures. I don't think Femine wants that either, which is why I'm very confused as to why this is his material. Yeah, we don't have enough of that. I don't know what artifacts to give him. What do I do? He's both cryo and physical. And, well, maybe I'll just do a bit of both. A bit of both. Yeah, that's okay. We got to... these don't appear to be the best artifacts. What am I looking for here? This is the only one I have of this? And this is the only one I have of this? Do we just have, like... We apparently don't have many... just straight up timepieces. Alright, well how about one that's not been leveled up? Yeah, there we go. Now I'm gonna pick cryo. There we go, cryo or physical. Which one am I missing? This one, right? I don't want healing. Do I want healing? No, I don't want healing bonus. Alright, well, clearly I don't have an artifact set for him. I just want him to have something. So I'm not just sending him out into the fray with nothing. I'm not gonna give you the bell because I don't think the bell really works with your kit. You can borrow Eula's for today, just for this episode. And I didn't really farm very much for the talents because I'm not sure how much I plan on using him. I just wanted to have him on the team, really. But if I have like a themed team with the siblings, then I technically have Lyney, the damage dealer. So I guess the other two just go with the flow with what's going on, right? Oh, hang on, before I use all of those, I think I need to yeah, I need these for Ether. So no, but wait, I need to go I need to go to the crafting table and get more of the droplet things without hurting any more sea creatures, because that is not nice. Where is it? Alright, here we are. Let me see. I think I should prioritize leveling him up first. And then I'll do talents afterwards. Yeah. I just don't want him to get hurt when I bring him with me.
Your time and energy is a precious resource. Shouldn't you...
No.
Spend it on someone else?
No, you deserve all of the love and care that you have from your friends, from your siblings, from everyone that supports you. Poor Femine. I do wonder. I wonder what happened to him. Let's see, I'm gonna just do it 70, 79. And he can still level up. No! He is going into diving mode. Well, that's okay. I shouldn't say no, because that's where his space where he feels safe. And I'm happy he has a space like that. Yeah, sorry, Ether. You can... Actually, no, Ether. Quickly. I'll use this plant. Well, apparently I don't have enough of those materials anyway. Okay, I should probably prioritize his normal attack first. I think it's the best. Okay, but now we really are out of the stuff for the in the plants, and we are not going to hurt any more plants. Oh yeah, that's right, Lyney. We're about to do your story quest, so time to ascend.
Doing all this for me? Are you trying to steal this magician's heart by any chance?
I don't know, am I?
Well, in that case, congratulations, my dear apprentice. Or should I say, companion. For you have succeeded.
Well, I'm really happy about that. I am glad that you and I seem to be on closer terms than you and Ether. At the moment. I'm sure Ether will forgive him. Right, Ether? Alright, there we go. Level 90 Lyney. Artifact situation. Still haven't given him the artifacts yet, but I recently just got, let me see, a good one from, yeah, this one. The crit rate is going up. That time was the 5 times? Alright, energy recharge is not bad. Yeah, that one is a good work in progress. Alright, enough of that. Time for what we really came here for. And that is to see what the great magician Lyney is up to today after we rescued him. And he rescued us. So we're even. But, you know, I still want to know what he's up to. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Felis Fucus, chapter, The Phantom Thief's Reappearance. Talk to Charlotte. The bustling streets of the Court of Fontaine seem more lively than usual. Why don't you go walk around? I would love to. Alright. Then, let us begin. Let us see. What is going on in this lovely evening here in the Court of Fontaine? I don't think I'm going the right way. Hang on. This place is very big. Very big. So much to explore. Here we are. Here we are in the center. The advertisement board. I love reading it. Let's see. Oh, the music here is so peaceful. Okay, I'm not going the right way. Okay, we gotta go the right way. Take the proper paths that are designated and laid out for us.
Hey, isn't that Charlotte?
I see. So you believe that this warning letter was sent by the Phantom Weasel?
Phantom Weasel? Oh, sorry, it's not auto.
Absolutely. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The Phantom Weasel never acts as you expect. He must have faked his own death 10 years ago using a body double. Now that he's back, I'm sure the guards who worked on his case back in the day are in for a headache.
Or maybe it's a
However this turns
copycat.
out in the end, the one thing it won't be is boring.
Couldn't agree more. As a journalist, I'm gonna get a lot of mileage out of
Remember,
this
this
letter.
is
Thank you so
crime.
much for your time.
But I
Now,
guess in
who should I
Fontaine,
interview
crime is
next?
entertainment to them.
Huh? Hey,
Uh,
what a coincidence! Fancy meeting
hello,
you here.
Charlotte. How are you doing today?
Perfect timing. So, the Phantom Weasel's latest warning letter. What are your thoughts?
Well, if this supposed Phantom Weasel died, it's either that they came back or that there's somebody else that wants to follow in their footsteps. I don't know.
Yeah,
What is...
This is the first
Explain
time
the
we're hearing of
context
this
to
one.
me.
Could you clue us in?
Huh? Oh, sorry. Yes, this case is from a decade ago. I guess you wouldn't know about it.
Well, this
not
song
to
is
worry.
perfect for
You're in
just
good hands because
the
I'm
feeling
a
of the sun
professional.
rising in the
The story
morning.
goes
And
like
you're
this.
ready to get up and
10 or so years
get up
ago,
and
a
start
phantom
a
thief
wonderful
became
new
active in the
day.
court of Fontaine. Known only as the Weasel, nobody knew his true identity, and the authorities never managed to catch him.
Wow, cool! He sounds like one of those mysterious night burglars that you read about in novels.
Precisely. Well, except the part where they actually have a good reputation. Our Weasel targeted whatever people held dear, and no one was safe from his predations. He would just as soon steal a necklace from a rich merchant's safe as he would a toy doll given to a commoner child for their birthday.
Well, sounds like an absolute weirdo. Because that is quite a range of items there.
I know. The phantom thieves you read about in novels rob the rich to pay the poor, but this guy did not discriminate. Unsurprisingly, this didn't work wonders for his public reputation. Every man and his dog wanted to see him behind bars.
Yeesh. So, did they catch him?
Not exactly. There's a good chance that the Weasel would still be at large to this day if it hadn't been for an accident 10 years ago. A magician named Caesar fell to his death in a botched high-altitude escape performance.
Oh.
When the police
Okay.
went through his personal effects, they found a hoard of stolen loot and gadgets used for criminal activities. And that was how the Phantom Weasel's identity was revealed to all. Sure enough, thefts in Fontaine went down after Caesar's death. But today, 10 years on, the notorious thief has once again issued one of his warning letters
Well, very
and
mysterious.
pasted it on the gate of the
Considering
Opera
we just
Epiclese for all
helped
to
a
see.
magician who had been
I had
framed.
to squeeze through the
But
crowd this morning
also,
to get a
if the
photo as soon as I heard.
case is stopped for 10 years, then I guess that's pretty convincing that you had the right person, right? You'd think, right? Now, what does this say?
So, this is the warning letter, huh? Let's see what he wrote.
Mm-hmm.
3 days from now, when evening falls, I shall take from you that which you hold most dear at the Opera House, just as you did to me 10 years ago.
This is, without a doubt, a clear declaration of criminal intent. After years of laying low, the
How
Phantom
exciting.
Weasel is back with a vengeance. What once seemed like an open and shut case has been blown wide open again. But why has he reemerged now? And what does he want? I sense an epic scoop, and I'm going for it.
Well, you do you.
Uh-oh. If this thief will steal anything that other people value, does that mean even we might be targeted?
He might steal all your favorite snacks, Paimon. He may try to nab you, little Paimon. No, don't steal little Paimon. Don't steal our friend. Paimon's our best friend.
Aww. darling doesn't want to get kidnapped. Well, he'd have to go through you first.
That's right, and we would never let this happen to you, Paimon.
Okay, the people have spoken. It's clear that the public are very concerned about the Phantom Weasel's reappearance.
I see a certain someone performing up there.
Let's see, I've got a photo of the letter, my interview notes. Yep, that should be enough to form the skeleton of my article. It does feel like something is missing, though.
Okay.
Something exclusive. Who should I interview next? I need someone with a more concrete connection to the weasel. Is that who I think it is?
Why, of course.
Lyney!
Looks like he's performing some magic.
Magic, magician, Caesar, the Phantom Weasel! That's it! Let's go interview Lyney!
Sure. I mean, we should probably wait for his performance to finish first.
You see, the original Phantom Thief Caesar was a magician too! And what do Phantom Thieves and magicians have in common? They both have an air of mystery about them.
That's true. Lyney is
Perhaps there's a
very, very
connection there.
mysterious.
Are you serious? What
But I do agree. I don't know if he makes for the best connection to the case, but it
My
sure is
journalistic
exciting
instinct tells me that
for
an exclusive
the
resource
drama,
is
right?
beckoning. Let's go. No time for delay.
Alright, looks like we're gonna be meeting up with Lyney! Right, the Forgotten Thief. Oh no, that sounds like it's going to be kind of sad. Alright, hello there, Lyney! It looks like you have someone there with you.
Wow, Mr. Magician! How did you know which card I picked?
Oh, it's simple. Come closer and I'll let you in on my secret. Magicians have a special skill called telepathy, which means we can read other people's minds.
Really? Then, what am I thinking now?
Well, first you need to relax, because I can see that you're clenching your fist in your mind, as if to say, no, I mustn't let him guess it.
Aww.
We all do that, don't we?
And now you're getting a little flustered. You're trying to find a way to empty your mind, to think of nothing at all. But the more you try to hide a secret, the easier it'll come out.
That is true.
You snuck out from home today, didn't you? You told your family a little lie so you could come out and play.
Oh no, you've been
No,
figured out.
No, that's not a good habit.
You can tell? Oh boy, you really can read my mind.
I think you are
Of
just
course.
very relatable.
And that's the end of my performance. You should really be heading home. Remember to apologize to your family, all right? They must be worried about you.
All right, got it. Bye, Mr. Magician.
Bye, Mr. Magician! Hi, Lyney!
Hey, Lyney?
How's it going?
Why, hello. We meet again. Are you looking for me? What's the situation?
Well, why don't you guess, Mr. Telepathic?
True.
Oh, please. You didn't believe that spiel, did you?
Yeah, no.
The power of telepathy is
Let's see,
quite
because that
beyond
kid had
me.
it written all
I'm
over
sure that
his
child
face.
would beg to differ. Seemed like you were right on the money.
That was nothing more than a little trickery. I made an educated guess based on his micro
Yeah.
expressions.
He's
That,
very
plus
readable.
the fact that he was the only kid here without his parents, and he looked as guilty as sin. He made it easy for me. You guys, on the other hand, let me guess. Don't tell me you're here for the Phantom Weasel,
What do
are
you know? He does have telepathy after all.
Cut it in the ring. Is this more of your trickery, Emma?
Yeah.
Wait, really? No trickery this time. It was pure luck. His warning letter's been the talk of the town, so I figured that maybe you were asking around about that.
Well, pretty much exactly what we're here.
I plan on writing a
About.
column reporting on the latest news about the Phantom Weasel. So, Lyney, what are your thoughts on this infamous thief's reappearance?
To be honest, it makes me angry.
Angry?
Go
Why?
on.
You read his letter, right? The Phantom Weasel claims he's planning something in 3 nights' time at the Opera House. That's the night
Oh
I'll be
no.
performing there.
More stuff happening to Lyney at the Opera House? Yeah, what are the chances? Almost as if...
Wait a minute, you don't
Yeah.
think it's after you, do you?
It would not be the first time
Well, if he
something
is, then
happened to
his
Lyney.
warning is clearly a direct challenge to me personally. And if he's not, then it's still going to be a huge headache for me. The mere mention of the Weasel's name is enough to scare people off. So once the contents of that letter get out, barely anyone will be showing up to watch my show.
This does seem to
But
be
I've been
a
preparing for this for a long time. I'm not about to let him ruin my big day. This leaves me with only one choice. I have to expose the Phantom Weasel's identity before the show begins.
Really? So what you're saying is, we might get to see a live duel between a famous magician and an
He
infamous
was also a
Wow,
magician?
This is exclusive written all over it.
To be honest, I'm not sure if I'll emerge the victor. The Phantom Weasel is a notorious crook, infamous for his inscrutable methods.
You're being far too modest, Lyney. I think your magic tricks are even more inscrutable than those of a thief.
Thanks for the compliment, though I have to say, I don't care much for the comparison. A lot of people liken magicians to thieves because we both have the ability to make things disappear without the person noticing. But there's an important difference that these people overlook. Allow me to demonstrate with a quick magic trick. Here, I have a flower.
I've picked many
Just
of those
an ordinary
flowers for
flower that was
Lynette.
picked not long ago. Watch it carefully now. 3, 2, 1.
Wow, it's gone! Well, where'd it go?
That's the question. Where did it go?
Mm-hmm.
Therein lies the difference between us. Thieves make precious things disappear, but only magicians make them reappear. If I could now invite you all to check your clothes, there might be a surprise.
I
in
want
there
check.
somewhere.
Check your clothes.
A surprise?
Either!
Let me see!
Huh? Look at his eyes widen. I'd be pretty surprised too. The flower is on your chest. How did he put it there? He didn't even move.
But how? You haven't moved this whole time!
What an outstanding trick! Sorry, Lyney, it seems that my previous praise was woefully inadequate. Clearly, magic is the superior art form to theft.
Don't worry, I didn't take offense. I just wanted to take the opportunity to perhaps change some of the preconceived notions you might have about magicians. Since Caesar's death, a lot of people associate magicians with criminality. It can be quite
Yeah,
frustrating.
you can see.
I can imagine. Coming back to your trick just now, might I presume that you are well versed in floral symbolism? For example, magicians often use rainbow roses in their flower-related performances to represent passion and romantic encounters.
Like how he needs all the rainbow roses to level up.
But you used a Lumidu spell, which, if I'm not mistaken, allude to separations. I'm curious to know if there was any deeper meaning.
Yeah, why did you do that?
Impressive knowledge. It's no wonder you're
why
such
did
a
you give us that
successful
flower?
journalist. But I'm afraid I don't know the first thing about floral symbolism. I'm just in the habit of using Lumidu spells in
Okay.
my magic.
That makes sense.
It sounds like something I should look into, though. I'll buy myself a copy of Fontaine's Floral Language Facts when I have some time. But it'll have to wait
Yes.
until this Phantom
His
Weasel business is
guidebook.
behind us.
Well noted. In that case, this brings us to the end of our interview. I, for one, am looking forward to the final showdown between you
Me
and the
too.
thief. Please feel free to get in touch to update me on any further developments. Otherwise, I will of course see you at your show in 3 days' time. But let's hope the Phantom Weasel is caught by then.
Sounds exciting.
If there's nothing else, I'll
Thank
be
you
off.
for the
You've
flower,
given me lots to
Lyney.
work with here, and I've got no time to lose if I want to write that exclusive piece. I'll see you all
Bye,
later.
Charlotte. Alright, I guess it's just us now.
So, Lyney, are you gonna
No,
tell
he
us how
can't
to get that
spoil
flower
it.
thing now?
He's not gonna spoil it.
I'm
Yeah.
afraid that's my little secret.
Trade secret.
Well, magicians are entitled to their secrets. But
So itchy. The Phantom Weasel, you sure you'll be able to handle him?
Not so itchy then, huh?
Yeah, I'm not so itchy.
Well, since you're so concerned, how would you like to serve as my temporary magician's assistants? And
I
help
would
me
love
investigate?
to.
Magician's assistants? Oh, that sounds fun! Assistants are technically
That's
magicians
right, just
too.
like Lynette.
Also, it'll bring us one step closer to figuring out how the card trick is done. Shall we go first?
We'll help with your investigation. We would love to help out.
Excellent. Thank you for putting your trust in
Aw.
one. The first thing we need to look into is who Caesar really was. If he truly was the Phantom Weasel, that means that the Weasel is dead, and whoever wrote this warning letter is just a
Right,
copycat
that's what I
criminal.
said before.
But if he wasn't the Weasel? Well, that'll make things more interesting. It would mean that the Weasel lives, and he's been laying low all this time in some corner of Fontaine.
Okay.
And if we're investigating Caesar, his fiancée Gemma is a good place to start. Word is that she visits the cemetery often, so I asked Lynette
Like,
to
you
wait
already
for her
knew we were
there.
gonna do this? Oh, I
We
guess
should
he
make
was
a
already
move.
planning to
Let's go and
investigate.
rendezvous with Lynette.
Alright, fair enough. Very well planned. Oh, gift of parting. A flower accessory given away by Lyney in his magic shows. It is an arrangement of luminous spells which symbolize parting. Thank you so much for giving that to me then. Alright, Lyney. I mean, there's definitely a connection, but since we brought up the connection between magicians and thieves, it's definitely no accident then that the magician was presumed to be the phantom thief. Or at least, why is it sparkly over here? Why is it sparkly? There's like fireflies here. Why? Why is the reason for this? Why is it sparkly here? I don't know. Well, there's definitely reasons for everything. And if we're talking about a forgotten thief, definitely more meets the eye. If it turns out that the magician who died, Caesar, was not the phantom thief, and I assume the phantom thief is probably somebody close to them, somebody related to them some way. And if he was the phantom thief, then I assume this copycat is also someone who is close. After all, what reason would somebody have to copy? Okay. Hello there, Lynette. It is nice to see you again.
You took your time.
Lots and lots of time.
Sorry, I bumped into the Traveler and Charlotte en route, and we ended up chatting for a while.
Yep, that's what we did.
It's been a while, Lynette.
Hello.
We're working as Lyney's temporary assistants in the investigation of the
Yes.
Phantom Weasel.
So I guess since you're also Lyney's assistant,
Thank
we'll be
you.
working together
Good
a
to
lot.
have you helping.
So, what's the situation? Have you seen Gemma?
Nope. I've been here a while, and she still hasn't shown up.
How bizarre. Maybe it was bad intel. Well, we won't get
Well,
anywhere by
it
standing
can't always
around
be
waiting.
perfectly accurate.
Traveler, Paimon, let's go ask around.
Not only that, I mean, what if she changed her schedule for the day? You know, and then people don't do the exact same thing every day all the time. Hello there, sir. I'm sorry that we're interrupting you while you're mourning in a cemetery, but I
Excuse
guess
me,
that's
good
what we're
sir.
doing right now.
Do you by any chance know a Gemma?
Gemma? You mean Caesar's fiance? Sure I do. What's this about?
I'm just trying to get a hold of her because I need her help with something. I heard she comes here a lot.
Yeah, she does. Poor thing. It's no secret why either. She's heartsick.
Someone
since Caesar
close
passed away,
to
she's
the
been
phantom
coming
thief,
here once
or
every week to
is the
clean his
phantom
grave.
thief.
Often she just sits there in front of his headstone, lost in thought. Sometimes she talks to herself. I asked her what she was doing once. She said she wanted to speak to him again. She knows he's gone and can't hear her from the grave, but she just likes to spend time there, telling her fiancé all about how her life is going.
And she's been doing this ever since Caesar passed away? Oh, so 10
That's a long time.
years. Wow. Their love
That's
must
a
have
long
been
time to be
really
away from somebody.
strong.
I'll
You know
bet.
you will never see
Caesar's
again.
reputation fell apart after his identity was revealed, so no one else visits his grave. Gemma's the only one who still thinks about him after all these years. I don't know if the mind lives on in the waters after death, but if it does, I'm sure Caesar must be grateful to have someone who remembers
Me
him
too.
fondly. If I'm honest, I think this is all so unfair to poor Gemma. Her fiancé was a low-life crook. He doesn't deserve someone like her. Anyway, all of that said, she's running later than usual today.
So she does.
Normally, she'd be sitting in
she'll
front of his
appear
grave
normal.
by now. I wonder if she's okay. Well, that's everything I know, I'm afraid. You might have more luck asking some
Alright,
other people.
thank you so much. And I'm so sorry we interrupted you.
All right, well, thanks
Because
for sharing
you
all
were
of this
also
with
here
us.
mourning
We'll
somebody.
keep asking around.
You're welcome. I just hope she'll be able to move on one day.
Keep in mind, everybody else here is also mourning their loved ones or visiting them at the. I mean, it depends on at what point in their processing they're at. Nevertheless, oh, hello, Lynette. We should probably say hello to Lynette. Hello, Lynette.
I'll wait for you here and see if Gemma shows up.
Thanks. Now, what is different, though, that would make her not show up? What do we know is different than usual? Could it be the letter that was left at the Opera Epiclus? I actually don't know.
Did you hear the news? They're saying the Phantom
There's
Weasel's back.
twists and turns that happen
You're
in these
kidding.
stories that you just can't
Wait,
predict.
isn't he dead?
I don't know anymore. All sorts of news flying around nowadays. I can never tell what's true and what isn't. But what if, just hypothetically, I mean, what if this weasel's the real deal and Caesar was framed?
Yeah.
Called it. Seriously, 10 years ago, on the day it all went down, I said to myself, you know what? This guy's been set up. The Caesar I knew was a good guy. He gave balloons to children on the street, for Pete's sake. What, are we supposed to believe that he was a balloon thief or something? Give me a break.
Oh, please. Weren't you the one cursing his name to high heaven when the police announced the news? You were all, "Oh, that gosh
Yeah,
darn
and it's
lousy
clearly a
son
sign
of
of
you think you know a guy," or words to that
People in
effect.
Fontaine love the drama.
Wait, did I say that? I don't
Love the
seem to
drama
recall.
and love going with whatever the mainstream opinion at the time is and just going with it. As we've seen in the Opera Epiclus. However the trial is going, everyone's cheering for that side. Like, yeah, that's right. It has to be Lyney. Who else could it be? It's not Lyney. Lyney was framed. And then like switching back and forth. Like nobody can make up their mind because they can only think superficially about the information directly in front of them in that moment. It's like their critical thinking skills have just disappeared because they no longer take the cases seriously and actually try to figure out what happened. It's all just, you know, what is captivating in the moment. Sorry to interrupt your very interesting conversation in front of a gravestone, I would like to remind you, but okay.
Hello there. Sorry for disturbing you, but I couldn't help but notice you were discussing the Phantom Weasel. We're actually quite
Because I'm sure the
interested in this
person
topic
that
as
you
well,
were here to
but we're
visit
struggling to get
would
to the
love
bottom
to
of
hear
it.
you talking about
Do you think you could spare a moment to tell us a
irrelevant
little bit
current
about
events.
Caesar?
For what I assume to be your purpose for visiting here.
You've come to the right people. Yep, I was there. Back when Caesar used to perform magic tricks on the street. He was a great magician. The best trick I ever saw him do was pop a transparent balloon, only for a whole bunch of doves to fly out from the
Wow,
inside.
that she was probably
I was right
amazing.
up close and didn't blink or look away once. But for the life of me, I still don't have the faintest clue how he pulled it off. Really
Just like
incredible
Nebula
stuff.
said, maybe
I saw him perform
maybe
too.
don't focus so
He
much on
always
how it
used to
was
bring some
done, so
gifts
much
along
as
for the kids
the
that came to
spirit
watch
with
his
which
show,
it was done.
and he'd hand them out after he was done.
Enjoy the
Sometimes
moment.
He even got the kids to write their wishes down, and then he'd make the items on the
Okay,
wish
he got
list
kids to write their
appear
wishes
in
down.
his next show.
But
He doesn't
But that
sound
might be an
like such a
important
bad
clue.
guy.
So he's writing stuff down.
But after he died, there were also rumors that he used the wish list to find out what was precious to people, with the intent to steal it
Okay.
later. As I'm sure you know, the Phantom Weasel would steal just about anything from anyone.
Whatever the case, now that the weasel is back, Caesar's become a hot topic once more.
Well, that might be why Gemma doesn't want to visit, because...
I bet Gemma must be pleased. If
Yeah,
Caesar's
but
name
she also
gets
probably
cleared,
doesn't want to visit, because
maybe
it's
it'll
probably
finally give her some solace
busy
after
around
all
these
this time.
areas right now.
Oh, speak of the
Yes.
devil. That's
More
her over there.
peaceful.
If you've got any more questions about Caesar, she's definitely the one to ask.
Alright. I can do that.
So that's Gemma. Is it just Paimon, or does it look like something's wrong? Wait,
Something
like she's
is... Oh,
injured.
she's injured.
Come
I was
on,
gonna say
let's go
something's
see the
wrong.
vet.
I mean, she's here to visit a cemetery. I mean, that is usually a solemn affair.
Hi there. You're Gemma, right?
Hi.
Who's asking?
Don't be afraid. We mean no harm.
We're just very curious.
It looks like you're injured. How bad is it?
Thanks for your concern, but you didn't answer my question.
Alright,
Who
fair
are
enough.
you? And what do you want with me?
My name is Lyney, and this is my sister Lynette.
My name's Paimon, and this here's the Traveler. We're investigating the Phantom Weasel.
Mm-hmm.
The Weasel posted a warning letter this morning. If he still lives, that means that Caesar was falsely accused. You knew Caesar better than anyone else. So if you're willing, we'd love to hear what you think
Something
about all
told us
this.
it's not gonna be that boring, but okay.
I promise you can trust us. We won't hurt you. In fact, we'll do all we can to keep you safe.
I never believed that he was the weasel.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I suspected as much. Okay, so going back 10 years, do you remember anything strange in the weeks leading up to the accident? Did Caesar have a falling out with anyone, for instance?
No, not that I know of.
Got
Lynette, what do you notice?
All right.
Because Lynette
Sorry
is
for
very good at
disturbing
noticing
you.
stuff. Yeah, I'm really sorry. We've been...
If you don't have any more questions, please leave.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I want to be alone with him.
We've been bothering a lot of people at the cemetery. I think we should leave them alone. What did you see, Lynette?
Judging by the look on her face, there's definitely something fishy about her.
Mm-hmm.
She's lying. She definitely knows something.
Perhaps she simply doesn't trust us. I mean, that is completely fair. I mean, we just walk up to her and say, "You can trust us." I don't think that sits well with everybody. Perhaps she simply doesn't trust us.
That's fair. We're just a bunch of strangers who showed up and started questioning her about things that happened a whole decade
Yeah.
ago. It makes sense that she'd be wary
Now,
around
my
us.
question is, considering we solved another cold case with new information from the recent cases about the primordial water, I'm not sure if primordial water would be involved in this case, but definitely we're in the phase of reopening cold cases, because it seems that in the judicial system in Fontaine, you know, not everything gets covered before we start accusing people and throwing them in jail and all of that. So, yeah.
In any case,
It makes
I doubt
sense.
we'll get any
It would
further
actually make
here,
a lot of
so
sense
let's
if he
call it
was
a day.
falsely accused.
Meet me outside Hotel de Boer tomorrow, and then we'll start the next step of our plan.
Okay. The Phantom Thief's reappearance. The Magician's Secret. Okay. I guess we will... What is this? 20,000 leagues under the sea. Go with the flow. Too hot to handle. Constantly attempt to freeze tainted hydrophantasms. Witness various miscellaneous matters in the court of Fontaine. And the coffee one. I love the coffee commission. That one's been a lot of fun. Just brewing all the different kinds of coffee. Next day, 8 o'clock. Oh, I'm really excited to explore that area. all the technological like institute areas, like that one, and also like the ruins on the other side. I'm super excited for that. I gotta get started on some of the other quests here.
This is no time for distractions. Seriously, you have a great magician standing right here. You don't want to miss the best part, do you?
No, I do not. Well, anyway, because we just cleared Lyney's name, I mean, it's very possible we're gonna clear another magician's name. But I mean, it could also be the other way where he really was the Phantom Thief. Who knows? Either way, though,
Over here.
It doesn't seem that all the information was known at the time.
Lynette's not joining us today?
I've had her follow Gemma and see if we can make any inroads with her. They should be at a cafe right now.
So stalking, a little bit.
I don't think that Gemma's likely to open up to us. So, we need a contingency plan.
What should we do?
Today, we'll be looking into a guy named Lorenzo, Caesar's former pupil and assistant.
Okay.
When Caesar passed away, all the stolen goods discovered in his home were confiscated and returned to their rightful owners. But Lorenzo was the only one privy to all his magic secrets, and he inherited his craft. Before long, Lorenzo was the next big magician in town, his fame surpassing even that of his master, and it made him very wealthy. He's since left the magic scene, though, and these days, he's a wealthy businessman with his fingers in a lot of different pies.
Leaving the door
I had
open
to pull a lot of strings,
for
but I managed to get
another
him
magician
agree
to
a
show
couple
up
of
in the
drinks with
scene.
me. Be warned, though. I hear he's got a hair-triggered temper. We'd best be careful.
Alright. Note taken, thank you. Thank you very much for the heads up, because you know, very interesting clashing personalities sometimes happen, but thankfully we have Lyney here with us, and he will probably be able to talk us out of any bad situations. He's very good like that. Also, that's how he deals with, like, you know, covert operations.
You
too.
neglected to mention that you were bringing 2 other people with you.
Oh, sorry.
My apologies. These 2 are my assistants. When they heard that I was meeting with the former magic maestro himself, they begged and pleaded with me to bring them along. And if it's no trouble, a couple of autographs would really make their day.
Yes, we would love that.
Oh, forget the pleasantries, just sit.
Oh, that little thing cooking in the background is cute. Paimon is floating.
Get a load of this guy. Forget the pleasantries, he says, but he looks pretty happy.
It's okay. We've already dealt with like Schubert and Lawrence, so I think we can handle egos.
Do me a favor and cut the chase. I have more important things to do than drinking.
Okay.
Much obliged, sir. As it happens, the matter I want to address is also related to magic. Yesterday morning, a warning letter from the Phantom Weasel appeared on the entrance to the Opera House. He claims to be planning something for the same evening that I'm scheduled to do a magic show there. As such, I believe that I may well be his target. I have to get to the bottom of this to ensure that my show can go ahead as planned. Naturally, any investigation into the Weasel starts with a few questions about Caesar.
Alright, so this is not gonna go well.
What is there to investigate? Caesar was the Weasel, and he's been dead for 10 years. So what if some sick creep thought it'd be funny to write a warning letter? It changes nothing. Are you trying to tell me you actually bought it?
He's investigating. That doesn't mean he's bought
Please,
it.
sir, no need to get so worked up.
He's trying to figure out what is real and what is just gossip.
Possibility? It's a fact, Lyney.
Okay.
Look, my patience is limited, so listen carefully while I'm still willing to put up with you. The Weasel is dead. Period.
Alright, you're acting very suspicious,
knows that, so do yourself a favor and quit this investigation.
Yeah, telling us to stop investigating?
Look, if this
that sounds like
magic
somebody
show
has
in any
something
way,
to
I will
hide.
personally compensate you for any losses.
Trying to buy us? Trying to pay off Lyney for his
really,
silence?
but
That sounds
this
like you have
isn't
something
about
to
finances
hide.
for me. My pride as a magician is what's at stake here, Lorenzo. Copycat or not, this person has thrown me the gauntlet, and I must meet their challenge head on.
Your pride? Don't mince words with me, boy. Just tell me, what exactly are you seeking to do?
We are
I want to find out the
investigating.
Phantom Weasel's true identity. I have to know for myself what really happened 10 years ago.
What would that accomplish? And what do the events of 10 years ago have to do with you, anyway?
Well, he just explained
Look,
that he's
you of
being
all people should know
called
the
out.
magician
So,
never
that's what
reveals
it
their
has to do.
secrets. And in any case, dead men don't talk. So if you really
Dead
care
men
about
don't
your
talk. That
magician's
sounds like you're trying to
pride,
silence
then you'll
us.
forget about Caesar.
I don't know.
and
This
move
sounds
on.
like this guy doesn't want us to find out something and
This is
wants us to
getting
stop looking, or else something bad's gonna happen.
Lorenzo? Is that? Oh, it is you!
Who are
that
you?
big,
Who are you?
booming voice anywhere. What's up, my man? Want to grab a drink with
You
me?
sound drunk.
Another day, I'm busy.
Oh, come on. You can't be all business all the time. You know what they say? Live fast, die young. You gotta learn how to kick back and relax once in a while.
Thank you.
If I wanted your life advice, I'd ask for it. Now get out of my
Comic
face
relief,
and go
or
be
not,
drunk
or this
somewhere
is really
else.
important.
Sorry, my good sir. I don't believe I've had the pleasure.
Oh, hey! Edmondo. He and I are business pals. We worked together a bunch of times.
Nice to
This
meet
is your
you.
first time meeting him? Oh, he's always like this. Foul-mouthed and hard.
Yeah, I can tell.
Never heard a kind word out of this guy the whole time I've
Yeah, I can
known
tell.
him. And he wonders why he can't get a girlfriend, despite being...
Oh no.
What?
That might
40,
also be
30,
important
something?
information.
Anyway, point is, a lot older than when he first got rejected by the girl he was into. And is still into, from what I hear.
Shut up and get out of my face. Another word out of
Yeah,
you and you
that's
can
important
forget about doing
information.
business with me ever again. Do I make myself clear?
Sorry, I may have had a little too much to drink.
Thank you
All
for
right.
walking up
I'm gonna
to us
leave.
drunk and
Don't work too
dropping
hard.
important information. I think we should run away now, Lyney, before...
I think it's high time I made a move as well. If you really want to investigate this, Lyney, be my guest. But if nothing good comes of it, don't say I didn't warn you.
No, this guy's hiding something. Oh, and who could the girl
that
be,
fell
I
to
wonder,
pieces in a
that-
rather
that
spectacular
broke his
fashion.
heart.
Any thoughts?
I wonder. It's at that point in the story quest, I feel like I see puzzle pieces being put together, only for it to completely fall apart. Like, I feel like I'm getting a sense of the picture, only just to, I know I'm going to be completely wrong, because anything that makes sense to happen is going to not happen, and whatever actually happens is going to be even more heartbreaking than I could have even imagined. There's something strange about him.
Totally. And what was all that about compensating you for your losses? Why would
I
someone
know,
who
it's
just
almost like he's
met
trying
make
to
an offer like
buy
that?
her silence.
He's gotta be hiding something. And not like Gemma. She was a little suspicious, but this guy's definitely covering something up.
I think so too. We need to look into Lorenzo more closely.
Yes.
That guy Edmondo seems to know a thing or two about him. He only just left. Let's see if we can catch up with him.
Albeit while he's drunk, but maybe that will mean he will spill his secrets much more easily, as that seems to happen a lot in these kinds of events. As we know from experience in this game. Hello there, Edmondo. How are you? It is us. You just met us. Broad daylight, and he is completely drunk in public.
You okay there?
Who are you? Oh, it's you guys. Don't worry about me. I must have had one too many. I just need to ride it out.
Alright.
I said way too much back there, didn't I? Yeah, I nearly talked myself into complete financial ruin.
That you did.
Note to
That
self,
you
no
did,
more
I
drunken
have
chats
no
when
doubt.
Lorenzo's around.
So, he was serious about threatening to cut you off? Ugh, Paimon knew he was a bad egg.
Hey, keep your voice down. don't go prying into Lorenzo's personal affairs. Bad things happen to people who ask too many questions or make an enemy out of him.
What kind of bad things?
Yeah, what kind of bad
Don't
things?
even ask. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to cut this conversation short. I'm not crossing that line again.
Are you sure?
Take it from me. Trouble with Lorenzo is one thing you don't need in your life. You saw him flare up back there. I don't know what you said to him, but clearly
Yeah, almost like we hit the nail on something.
You're too young for this. Don't get
I'm too
in over
young
your
for
head.
this. Well, Lyney's dealt with a lot of stuff in his life, so I'm sure this is painfully something that he can deal with.
There he goes. What do we do now, Lyney?
Yeah,
Shh. I think we're being watched.
I see.
Someone was
There's
listening
a
into our whole conversation.
spy-looking
Don't
agent
say
back
anything
then.
and don't look back. Any altercation in the city will attract the guards. We'd better take this elsewhere.
Yeah. Get out of the city and lure other people telling you how far out of very far out of the city. Alright. Oh, I probably should have taken the train to make it more obvious or more realistic, but nah. Now Lyney's a magician, so he can use the teleport waypoints too, right? Is that how it works? Where's this hydroculus? We gotta submit all my hydroculuses that I got so far.
You followed us a long way. Why don't you come out and introduce yourselves?
I know, all the way out here.
So you're Lyney. And where's your sister? Ain't she with you today? Save us the trouble and go fetch her for us. Let's not drag this out.
And
Paimon doesn't like the tone of your voice, mister.
yeah.
Who sent you, huh?
Save your questions, missy. You ain't gonna need answers where you're going.
Painter
Capiche?
De Niro?
Looks like we can't avoid this fight.
No, it looks like we can't.
Now, I'm not the strongest fighter, so I hope you're ready
Oh,
to
are
back
you
me up.
not? Look at the guillotine back there. Well, we're gonna try that out. I just maxed out your level. They're probably gonna give me a trial. Trial Lyney. Is this a trial Lyney? Or did you let me use my own Lyney? No, they gave me a trial Lyney. Alright. Oh, but he has his weapon. Alright, cat. Oh, he has two cats? Since when did he have two cats? Hang on, show me that again. Where'd the second cat come from? Is it a constellation thing? Yeah, oh, it might be a constellation thing. Hang on. Is this a constellation thing? I think it's a constellation one. Two hats. Okay, C1, I would get two hats. Well. Alright, didn't even need to bring up the others.
Curses. They're tougher than we thought.
Vision wielders are always trouble. Intimidation ain't gonna work like it did on the lady.
Which lady?
Come on, let's scram!
Hey, wise guys! We ain't through with you yet!
Yeah, and come back here.
Oh, they got away! Did you catch what they said just before they left? Something about intimidating someone
Yeah,
else.
that's not a good sign. That's not
Sounds
good
like
at
they
all.
just wanted to rough us up as a scare tactic, and they've already done it to someone else, but who?
Could it be Gemma?
You're right. She was injured when we saw her yesterday, and she acted like she had something to hide.
Oh no. Then we have to help her, right?
Maybe she was too scared to tell us the truth because those
Yeah.
guys had
Even if she's
threatened her.
involved, no, we can't let her get beat up like that.
Well,
No.
if that's the case, she should be more willing to
Intimidation,
open
how
up to us
dare
when
they.
she learns that those thugs won't be bothering her anymore. Let's head back to the cafe and see if we can get any information from her.
Yeah. Those thugs. Oh, and that was probably why she was late to visiting the cemetery. Because they were probably harassing her. No. There we go. Alright, let's see. Let's go to the cafe, where I have worked many shifts as a barista there. We've made coffee and heard many stories. And it looks like we will be visiting Lynette here. Hello, Lynette. It's okay, they can sit there in silence. Maybe sometimes that's what you need.
Gemma?
It's just comfortable silence. Alright, we're gonna break that comfortable silence now.
You again? What is it this time?
We just ran into the men who've been threatening you, and we gave them a taste of their own
That's
medicine.
right.
So, you can relax now. We're here to protect you.
What? Why? I didn't tell you anything. Why would they come after you?
Sounds like they're no strangers to you.
That's putting it mildly. I know them all too well, and I hate them with every fiber of my being. It's been 10 long years, and still every time I try to look into Caesar's death, they show up and warn me not to do anything stupid. How do I know I can trust you? Do you really think you can get to the bottom of it all? And why are you doing this?
I'm afraid I can't reveal all the details just yet, but I can promise you this. I will expose the Phantom Weasel's true identity. Because you see, this is a personal matter of the utmost importance. I give you my word. Trust me.
Okay. How can I help you?
I've heard that Caesar used to have a magic workshop where he kept a lot of his personal effects. If possible, I'd like to take a look at them. Do you know where it is?
The Fleuve Sonde. But the place was sealed up by the police after his death, and no one's been there since. I also know that the Fleuve Sonde is dangerous territory.
Well, it is dangerous,
Lots
but
of hostile groups lurking
we've
around.
been down there.
If you're serious about going
they'll
there,
be able to handle it.
please be careful.
Understood. Lynette, you stay here and take care of Gemma. Don't let her come to harm.
That's right.
Got it. But if I'm staying here, I'm ordering dessert.
Of course.
I mean, bon appetit. But stay sharp, too. They're likely to come for you while I'm away.
Okay. All right. Power saving mode off. I'll start taking this more seriously now.
That's right. We're gonna protect you, and we're gonna give you our word, so that's what we're gonna do. Right, Lynette?
With me here, nothing will happen.
That's right. Do not mess with Lynette.
Whatever you do, please be
No
careful.
worries.
If anything happens to you because you're investigating Caesar, I'll never be able to forgive myself.
Oh, I feel really bad for her. But that's how you know somebody's very desperate to hide something. Because they basically spent 10 years covering up the truth. That's not what I wanted to do. Hold on. Down here is a completely different atmosphere. Very interesting. Alright, let's see. But it's interesting how they almost develop a completely different culture from the above part of the Court of Fontaine, and yet you can still tell it's like the same city. Just the difference between, you know, the rich and the poor in the city. The disparity is quite high.
If Gemma gave us the right location, then the workshop should be right nearby. Huh. Looks like these boxes are blocking the entrance. Let's shift them away first.
Sounds good. It looks like no one's been here in a long time.
There we go. It should be just down here.
Perfect. Alright, enter Caesar's workshop. Oh no. The magic workshop once used by Caesar. Judging by the pile of boxes at the entrance, no one has come here in a very long time. Yeah, I don't know. Someone's telling me this is the case of... Something's telling me Caesar's been framed. And Lorenzo has something to do with it. What is this thing on Lyney's shoulder that's glowing? Oh, that must be the thing that lets him have two hats. What is this music? It's so interesting. And poor Gemma probably is suspicious, but that's just because they have been forcing her to remain silent. Can you imagine though? That someone you love died and you're not even allowed to properly mourn them and trying to find out why. And regardless of who's responsible, putting that sort of pressure on her is not fair. And what is this? Oh, okay.
So this was Caesar's workshop.
Alright, we're gonna do magic things here.
Nothing suspicious here, just normal magic props.
Okay.
Let's head in further.
I like these. Why are these balloons are still inflated after 10 years? Okay, I guess they're probably not like the latex balloons though. They're probably like actual rubber balls.
What was that? Oh, is this one of
Super
Caesar's
cute,
gadgets?
but it'd be pretty scary if
Guess we
you
must have triggered some sort of device.
attack the puppets when they. What? Oh, here. Can I say Lyney's bow looks super cool? Okay, there is a lot of enemies here. 2 cats. Lyney is super strong. Do you ever get the sense that in terms of like, especially with 5-star characters, it's like if it's a character that either they themselves would claim or you would think that they're not that great at fighting, they're really good at fighting. Whereas if it's a character you think would be super strong and have like offensive capabilities, then they tend to be more support.
Look, the doll in the box is glowing.
Like I think like well like Lyney says, okay, first of all, Lyney says he's not that strong, but let's be honest, he's very strong both in combat, in the gameplay, and also just in general, you know. He's a trickster. But like stuff like
Something written on the card on this doll.
like how characters like Zhongli and Raiden Shogun are mainly, at least the way I would build Raiden Shogun is very support based. But then characters like Yai Miko, who you think is more like the schemer, the one who's planning, can be a very strong damage dealer. Let's see, where's this wish list? I'd like a little dove. I want a robot with cool powers. No, you need your parents' permission to own a pet, and you also need to take good care of it. I've also bought a fluffy toy dove for you this time. If you're ready to own a pet, I'll make a real dove appear. Okay. Oh, that's very sweet. I want a bucket of fried chicken that never runs out. Aw. Wouldn't we all? I like a new bag. No, there's no such thing as fried chicken that never runs out, just as there's no such thing as children who never grow up. Also, eating too much fried food is bad for you. Make sure to pair it with something healthy, like a salad, alright? Alright. So it definitely sounds like he was a nice guy, seemingly. It's the sense I'm starting to get of more with evidence as well, so I'm starting to believe it, actually. What was over here?
Looks like we've reached the end of this route. Shall we try a different
No,
way?
I need to find treasure. There's always some kind of weird treasure chest hidden somewhere in the domains. But once again, in this case, just like in the case with Navia's father too, it's like people in Fontaine will turn on you so quickly once somebody starts pointing fingers and blaming you for something. And it very much reflects like a mindset of just like whatever you want to believe is what you end up believing. And whatever you want to believe is usually the easiest thing to go along with. And the easiest thing to go along with is usually what everyone else is saying. It's almost like this like echo reaction of like somebody starts with an idea and it bounces around until it hits everybody and everyone gets it. But then you release a different sound to echo around and suddenly everyone's talking about that. And we saw in the courts, it's literally like, it flips that quickly. So how do you know who you can trust and who would just betray you without a second thought when everyone's opinions flip so quickly? But that would work out pretty well for a...
One of them looks different from the rest.
Oh
Let's
no.
investigate.
I wasn't paying attention. I think it was this one. I think it flew back. Yeah, okay, good. Just making sure. 2 cats.
There should be another wish list inside. Let's keep trying.
Okay. I'm watching. Okay. This is stressful. Is that correct or? Oh, the other one now. Okay. Okay, that one. Okay, my eyes are not gonna leave it. Gosh, I'm actually the perfect person to actually get with these kinds of tricks. Wait, did it not go behind? Oh no, there is one that's behind. Well, I think it's this one. So it's not opening up. Or is it that one? No, it didn't go that far. Okay, it's gotta be this one then that went behind the pole. Okay. Let me watch more carefully this time because apparently this pole is gonna get in the way. Okay, so here. It is that one! Wait, no, hang on. Is that not what I guessed for, or? You know what? It's okay. We figured out the puzzle. And the tricks. This place looks like so much fun. Well, this guy had a large space to hide all of his tricks, I must say. But it does look like, as always, occupied old ruins of some sort of ancient civilization, which you know I love exploring.
That's weird. Have we reached the end already? There's nothing here. Maybe this was a wasted trip.
Paimon, every time you say that, it's not true. Every time you say, what is this? It looks useless or it's a waste, and it's never true. Okay, but so far my current theory is Lorenzo was Caesar's apprentice. So he was probably the thief, and that brings the connection between, you know, a thief and a magician. Either Caesar didn't know or he didn't like that, and so Lorenzo probably had him killed. And then when he died, all of his magic stuff went to Lorenzo, and Lorenzo became really famous. Since he became really famous and a successful businessman, he didn't need to actually go and steal anything anymore. Which then brings about the big question. If he was the Phantom Thief, why reemerge 10 years later and go after Lyney? Lyney, what are you looking at?
This place seems a little too ordinary for a magician's workshop. There's a distinct lack of mystery. We've triggered quite a few devices on the way here. I'm starting to wonder whether Caesar built this whole place as one big, elaborate magic contraption.
That makes sense, considering it's such a large space.
Then there must be more to this place than meets the eye.
Yeah, it just seems
Maybe
really
a
big for like a
hidden room
workshop
somewhere.
or a storage room.
Aha! If I just move this book, then hopefully... And... presto!
Yay! You can always count on Lyney for finding more stuff. Yes, he's Lyney and he's amazing.
I'm a magician too, and apparently great minds really do think alike. Looks pretty big.
Treasure!
Inside.
There's
Let's
the
head in
treasure
and
that
take
I'm
a look
looking
around.
for. It's all mine now. this music's a little bit intense.
Step right up.
I kind of wish it kept the magic music while we're doing this.
Let's get this show on
Let's
the road.
do it. I love how he puts his hands out like that. Everyone says it's like the Fatui Harbinger pose. Which I guess is a little bit accurate then. Okay, let's see. Oh, treasure. Because he is part of the Fatui, right? Uh-oh, why another door of resurrection so soon? I love having 2 cats. Not enough for me to pull a second time. Well, I can't anyway, but I love it.
Now disappear.
Okay, hang on.
Cue the spotlight! Step on up!
Just imagine what my Lyney could be once it's fully built. Alright, let's see. What have we found here, I wonder?
Why have you stopped, Lyney? Is there some device in that box?
Huh. It just looks familiar somehow. Let me check this out for a second while you guys go on ahead.
Go on ahead, where?
anyone
When that
makes a major
balloon moved in the
discovery,
background,
let's
I thought
rendezvous
something
here.
was like poking its head out. It was scary.
Alright, see you in a bit.
See you in a bit. Where are we? Where are we going? Solve the magic puzzle.
The placement of this device inside. If I remember correctly...
I mean, it's a tiny bit like the box that you used in your magic trick, but not quite the same kind of thing. I will keep that in mind as I go upstairs. This place looks so whimsical, though. I like that. Oh no. Okay. Okay, I see what needs to be done. This. Okay, this middle one doesn't move, does it? Oh, it doesn't move. Okay, I actually need to be on this one then. I need to be on this one. Okay, I did it. Yay! A golden magician hat and wand. Okay, well, they're dark, but that looks like a penguin! Okay, it doesn't really look like a penguin. It looks a little bit like a penguin. And what secret have we found over here? I wonder.
Wow! There's a hidden room here!
I'm sure there are many of those.
Oh, this bookcase is full of Caesar's own notes. He wrote a lot about the principles of magic. Much too advanced for Paimon.
But this is how you're gonna learn all of those
Hey, look!
those secrets you wanted to learn about. How Lyney made the flower reappear, right?
This book's thick as a brick! Let's take a peek
Well, it
inside
seems he had a
shall
lot
we?
to write about in his diary. Alright. What sad story are we gonna... Okay, about the wish list.
At one of my shows a few days ago, a child asked me how I pulled candy out of my hat. As a joke, I told the kid that the hat has a built-in wish-granting machine. Next thing I know, today a whole bunch of kids were pestering me to pull all sorts of things out of the hat.
Okay.
So
That's
I
very
told them
nice.
another white lie. The machine needs time to power up, but in the meantime, you can write your wishes down. Well, they took me up on that offer, enthusiastically. As I write this, I've only just got back from running around all over town, buying the things they wanted. Boy, are my legs sore.
Oh, he's kind of like Santa. Like
I
Santa
wound up
Claus.
saving very little this month. But that's not a major issue. I now have a bigger problem. How am I going to hide all these things inside my hat?
Okay. So what we learned from that is selflessness. He, as a magician, he doesn't actually magically make things appear. So he went and bought all the things the kids wanted, which is very kind of him. Doesn't seem the kind of guy who would steal from other people. About the children studying magic.
2 children came to talk to me after today's show. I don't know why they were out on their own. They looked much too young to be unsupervised.
Just like what Lyney noticed before with that other kid.
Anyway, they said that they wanted me to teach them how to do magic. It's not uncommon for children to ask this, of course, but I've never seen any of them as serious about it as these 2. I told them that learning magic is very hard work, but that didn't faze them at all. It's like they already knew. They seemed so committed. I couldn't turn them down.
I'm just wondering if that's Lyney and Lynette, but I'm not sure the timeline adds up perfectly for that to be Lyney and Lynette. And also, didn't Lyney learn magic by watching somebody do magic? Not necessarily by having a teacher. So that might be somebody else. How about Lorenzo's issues?
It seems like something's bothering Lorenzo lately, but he won't open up to me about it. Surely he's not upset that I agreed to teach those 2 children. I'll have to talk him around. I have a good feeling about those kids. They're naturally talented, and it seems like they're not new to the world of magic. They have all sorts of fantastic ideas. All I'm really doing is helping them develop a more professional standard training plan. They wanted to call me Master, but I told them they absolutely mustn't. Any magician worth their salt could have taught them what I have. They're the geniuses here. Compared to them, I don't deserve to be called any sort of Master. With time, I have no doubt that they could become far greater magicians than I. My only concern is why they're so mature for their age. I fear they've had to grow up too fast. I don't dare to imagine what they must have been through. Gemma thinks so too. She doesn't like being around them. Says that their eyes are too piercing. They don't bother me, but then again, I've never been the sharpest tool in the shed.
Okay. 2 kids does line up with Lyney and Lynette. Although I imagine Lyney is more eager than Lynette, who would happily do it. But, okay, but first of all, that would explain if the Phantom Weasel does turn out to be Lorenzo. That would explain why he's angry with Lyney and calling him out. But that does not explain why Lyney... It doesn't sound like Lyney knows Caesar or Gemma, unless he's hiding something from us. But conversely, it doesn't seem like Gemma knows Lyney and Lynette. But maybe it's because they're grown up now, I don't know. Okay, about the farewell.
It's nearly time for me to go on tour. I asked the 2 kids if they'd like to come with me, but they shook their heads. I once overheard them talking about their father and their mission. Sounds like their parents have other plans for them. I guess we'll be parting ways soon. It's only been 10 days since I first met them, but I think that I've gotten a feel for their personalities now. They're very tough, but also very cautious, and they trust no one but each other. This, I fear, is not a good habit to have. They hide things from me too. For example, when I asked them where they live and why they wanted to learn magic, they lied. That's the thing about children. Whenever they're trying to cover something up, it always shows somehow. I can sense that their lives have been hard, possibly even dangerous, too.
Yeah.
They're not like other children.
As you can sense, there's a reason why they
It's a
don't trust
shame that
people.
I can't do more to help them. After thinking things over, I decided to tell them a bit about how I see the world. It's full of lies and falsehoods, and that is why we must find our own truth. P.S. I hope they won't find my nagging annoying. Children are so opinionated nowadays. Will it do them more harm than good for someone they've only known 10 days to lecture them like that? P.P.S. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Children aren't interested in grand philosophies. It probably just went in one ear and out the other.
I hope that's not the
bet
case.
They've already forgotten every word I
Except
said.
if it really is Lyney and Lynette, they don't seem to remember you.
Just mind your own
Or maybe not
business next
remember
time.
that it was you. Interesting. Okay. So that gives us a little bit more insight. We still don't have a full picture. We still don't know how this drove Lorenzo to kill Caesar. If that is what happened. But we do seem to know that he's a very, very drastic personality. And I would like to ask Lyney and Lynette about this now. But that definitely shows where they were at that point in life. This is probably when they had first joined the House of the Hearth. And as you know, developing their magic skills really helps them, place themselves in society to help them get closer to the targets they need for their missions. But at the same time, it's also part of their, their worldview that's been shaped from their childhood also shows through the way they operate as well. All right.
Two magic geniuses with a father and a mission, huh?
Yeah, sounding very suspiciously similar to somebody we know.
Writing about Lyney and Lynette, don't you think?
It definitely does. Yeah.
So did they meet Caesar when they were kids? Let's go ask Lyney.
Yeah, Lyney, what are you not telling us? Do you... I don't know why the quest marker is or the quest description is not fully opaque, but whatever. But yeah, are you hiding something from me, or do you actually not remember?
Lyney?
Or does this...
Shh, hold that thought. As I expected, there's a lot of fishy things going on in this place.
Okay.
Fishy? Uh-oh, what have you found?
All in good time. Before we go over our new leads, I want to tell you how a high-altitude escape is performed.
Oh no.
First,
why are you telling me
the magician
this?
slots themselves into a magic box in full view of the audience. The box is then suspended high in the air, and a short while later, the base automatically opens. At this point, a dummy will fall out of the box, but it looks real enough to grab the audience's attention, and they start wailing and screaming. Meanwhile, the real magician, who has by now blended into the crowd, waits for a good moment to make their appearance and put on a hysterical performance. Oh no! Is that me? Did I just fall to my death?
And have you done this before, Lyney? Very vivid. You need a lot of people to do that, though, to be able to blend in.
The audience's gaze then turns to the magician, and by the time they realize what's happened, the dummy has vanished, as if everything that just happened was some sort of shared
Okay,
illusion.
how does the dummy vanish, then?
Of course, that's just how I think the process should work, theoretically speaking.
Okay, theoretically speaking. I assume this means you haven't tried it yourself. How does this apply in this case? Do I want to know?
The inventor of this trick never performed it successfully. When the box opened, Caesar was the one who fell out, and not the dummy.
Oh yeah, and how does the magician get out of the box in this case? There's no
He fell
underground
right
track
to the ground
like
from the
in
highest
your
point
thing.
of the opera house. No one could hope to survive that fall. Not without a vision, at least.
Mm-hmm.
And no one else has ever attempted this trick since. My understanding of how it works is just based on what I could gather from his notes and the relevant gadgets here in his workshop.
So Caesar's famous high-altitude escape has never been done, huh? Paimon was about
I just
to say how
remembered
cool
something
it
too.
would have been
I'll
to
say
see
it
them
afterwards.
person, but if it's that dangerous, it's probably for the best that no one else tries to do it.
Yeah, nobody else is gonna try to do this, right, Lyney?
So if a dummy's supposed to drop out of the box, then where does the real magician go?
Yeah.
How does he get out?
Glad you asked. That brings us to the secret of said box. This box right here is the one that Caesar constructed himself to use in the performance, and it's not as simple as it looks.
Right, because we know that
Inside,
magicians
there's a
love
device
boxes.
that only the magician himself would know about. Once the magician's inside and the box is lifted up into the air, the audience's view of the box is fixed at a certain angle.
If you set it up correctly.
From
that
where
is.
they're standing, they have a clear view of the front, sides, and bottom, but the back and the top are now no longer visible.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, the magician presses a button inside the box, opening a secret door out of view. He then escapes through this trap door onto the opera house roof, waits for the dummy to fall and distract the audience, and quietly returns to ground level.
Which means you can't have the box set up like in the middle of like an arena or something. Like where the screens are. Because then anyone can see every side.
Well, there's a little more to it than that, of course. The hardest part of this trick is controlling the audience's mood and reactions.
Yeah, because otherwise you can't blend in, right?
An exceptional degree of showmanship.
Yeah.
There's the falling dummy, the miraculous reappearance, the pompous performing. Maybe the magician would even have themselves tied up before it begins to strengthen the impression that there's no escape. Many days and nights of careful research and painstaking practice would have gone into this, all culminating in a performance just a few minutes long, but one that still manages to transform the shock and grief of a tragic accident to the joy and laughter of a mesmerizing magic trick.
Okay.
Caesar was a highly accomplished magician. But unfortunately, even he didn't manage to pull it off.
So, how did it go so wrong? You said you found some fishy stuff here. Have you figured out what really
clearly
happened?
the box is down here and not up there where
I
it was,
can
the
make a
trick was
pretty
supposed to be
good guess.
performed.
I looked into the case files. The magic box Caesar was using at the time of his death had the secret button
So it was
dimension
like this
positioned
box.
on the right-hand side. And sure enough, he always used his right hand as his dominant hand in public.
Okay. Nothing suspicious there.
But here's the strange thing. Most of the devices in this workshop have the mechanism on the left-hand side, including this box right here, which leads me to believe that Caesar was in fact left-handed.
Yeah, thank you for putting the correct option here, Ether. I'm not sure where you're going with this.
Because a magician can't afford to have their most basic habits stand out too much. People naturally focus their attention on the most important details of the task or situation at hand.
Okay.
But a magician needs to be able to redirect an audience's attention at will, so as to avoid arousing their suspicion.
Okay.
The essence of magic is getting people to believe a lie. If even the truth raises eyebrows, the falsehoods become all the more difficult to mask. And so, Caesar trained himself to use his right hand to align with his audience's expectations. Great magic always requires sacrifices.
Okay.
But in his most stressful and nerve-wracking moments, and when no one was watching, reflex would kick in and he'd use his left hand. That's why he set his gadgets with the mechanism on his left.
So then why would there be a copy of the box with the mechanism on the right side?
Exactly. I think that's likely what happened.
Okay, how could this be exploited here?
Caesar would have been under a lot of time pressure during the escape. He'd have had mere seconds to open the hidden compartment, retrieve the dummy, then open the secret door and make a swift escape. But I'm sure he was confident. He would have rehearsed countless times to the point where it was second nature. he'd barely need to think about what he was doing because muscle memory would guide him through. So he opened the compartment, took out the dummy, checked everything was in order, and then went to leave. With his left hand, he reached for the button, and suddenly, his heart skipped a beat. It wasn't there. Much like when you reach for your keys but find your pocket empty, his mind needed a moment to process what was going on.
He didn't have that time to spare.
Instinctively, his left hand would keep feeling around for the missing button, maybe for another second or two, until the bottom of the box gave way.
Okay, but that's a pretty big deal, moving the mechanism from the left side to the right side of the box.
Cost him everything. The authorities would find nothing suspicious and conclude that his death was due to his own error.
Okay.
When in reality, someone switched the boxes, and they did it to murder him.
They did it to murder him and make it look like an accident.
Like, how would they be able to make the switch without being noticed? That would be difficult to pull off, no?
Yeah, I see where you're going with this.
It would have to have been someone
I still
who knew that
think
he was
it's
left-handed and who could move his props around without arousing suspicion. Someone who was always by his side.
So it was probably...
Isn't that right, Lorenzo?
Oh, he is here.
Just couldn't let sleeping dogs lie.
Okay, before we continue this, the point I was gonna make before is not only might this be about, or his reappearance right now be, the Phantom Thief's reappearance right now be about revenge against Lyney and Lynette for stealing his thunder, but does it also have something to do with whoever the girl was that broke his heart? That I may or may not suspect who it is. Is that, because that's quite a lot of motive there, I guess, too. For both the incident back in the day and also what is about to happen now. That being said, it's no small feat to move the mechanism to the right side. And if you're gonna do that, why not make, I guess, I'm gonna say why not make it on the back, but I guess that would be even more suspicious. Whereas on the right side, it seems like a reasonable place to go since he's always doing with his right hand. Okay, fine. I get it. But you'd have to make a copy of a large wooden box and have that box shipped off to the opera instead of the box sitting here in the basement. And it'd have to be completely identical except for that one thing. Like, you have to rewire it. Like, not rewire it, it's gears. But still, it's symmetric on the other, it's not symmetric on the other side, right? Because the mechanism's in the back of the box. Whatever, whoever did this was very, very careful. Very careful and resourceful, apparently, because that's not something that's easy to do without anyone noticing what you're doing at all.
There's not a lot of people who'd go to all this trouble for some magician who died 10 years ago. I didn't want to have to do this, you know.
Do what? Try to silence us?
The hard way just creates more problems for me to deal with. But I gave you your chance. I hoped you'd do what's good for you and back off like the lady, but you disappoint me.
You mean Gemma? So you are the one who's been threatening her?
Yeah, it's been pretty obvious.
Yes, although however stubborn she might be, she was never much of a liability. But you people, you never even knew him, but for some reason you just wouldn't drop it. Which is why you can't leave this place
blah, blah, blah.
alive.
All right, let's
take them out and make it quick.
Let's get him.
Do your worst.
Let's get Paimon. Do your worst. All right, I am ready. Oh, they even have a dog.
Go.
Cats. I love the cats.
And voila!
Look at him just standing back there. We can't even attack him. Well, I'm gonna do it anyway. There you go. This is not even letting me. Oh, I did. Okay, there you go. That's right. You get some cat, Grim Malkin cat, Pat, whichever one it is.
Now disappear. A round of applause.
That's right. Yeah, let's check Remini out a little bit.
Getting here.
I don't remember exactly how to use it because it's pretty complicated. I need to wait for the... Oh, the pair timer goes faster when he's in his burst. That's right. Okay. I'm gonna have to learn that. Learn how to use Feminine, but that is okay. The most important thing is that the siblings are together now.
Step right up.
Alright, here we go. Good job, Lyney.
You kids are tougher than you
Yeah,
look.
you think?
Had enough yet, Lorenzo? Your cronies can't help you now.
Yeah, what are you hiding? I mean, it's kind of obvious what you're hiding, but explain it from your side.
Talking. And what I'd really like to know is, why did you murder Caesar?
Yeah.
If I had a Mora for every time you said that man's name. Of course you idolized Caesar, everyone else did. But I was the real genius magician. Me! He was just an amateur who did cheap tricks for gullible children. I was the one who made magic into the fine art it is today. The aristocrats doffed their hats to me!
And magic and thievery are similar.
Jealousy.
Jealousy. Hatred, more like. I hated Caesar. All he cared about was his magic. He lived and breathed it. He poured everything into his street performances and his stupid tours like it was just a hobby to him, never bothering to think about Mora. What sort of fool devotes their life to the art of deception and never has a Mora to show for it? But the people loved him, didn't they? Oh,
he spent his money on people, for people. He took care of the people of Fontaine.
All I ever heard was, "Oh, your master's amazing, isn't he?" Amazing. Yeah, so amazing that he was completely broke. Every other apprentice was living it up at their master's expense, but no, not me. I put in all the work, mastered all the skills, and it brought me nothing more than the life I already had.
Okay, but if you're such a genius, why didn't you just leave?
He forbade me from using magic to trick people out of their Mora. There was nothing he hated.
Well, it seems like you didn't like him, so you could have just not listened to him, and we could be good riddance to you right now.
As long as he was alive, if I dabbled in my own brand of money-making magic,
Oh,
he'd
I see.
expose me, and it would destroy me. I had to kill him. There was no other way. He had to go.
Okay, well, that's not very kind of you.
And this was your only motive?
Yeah, what are your other motives, dude?
Well, I was under the impression that there might have been other factors at play. For
yeah,
instance,
that's what I thought.
maybe you were in love with Gemma, but she was engaged to Caesar.
In love with Gemma? Don't be ridiculous.
Guess I was wrong about that then. Next question.
Okay, moving on.
Are you the Phantom Weasel?
I am. Caesar was so strict with me. He insisted that his way was the right way. That the sole purpose of magic was to bring joy to the world. I never bought into any of that. I was more interested in the practical value of magic. Sure enough, it helped me fill my pockets with all kinds of valuable treasures.
Blurring lines between a magician and a trickster. But true, I heard that the Phantom Weasel stole from the rich and poor alike.
Oh yeah! Charlotte told us that the weasel would steal whatever people valued, no matter how much it was worth.
That's just how it looked from the outside. What would any thief want with second-rate loot? I've only ever targeted high-value items. I stole cheap things as a way of practicing my craft. It was other people's overactive
that's actually really
imaginations
evil.
that conjured up the
Taking away
preposterous image
people's
they then
sentimental
dubbed the
and
Phantom
precious items,
Weasel.
and even if they were poor.
So that's the story, huh?
That's
Well,
really,
I hope
that's
you're ready
actually
to tell
really
it all
low. It's
over
just
again
basically
during
for
your
fun,
trial.
is almost his attitude
What
about it.
choice do I have? You're a pack of wolves, and you've got me between your jaws. You've seen what's here, and my last-ditch effort to stop it getting out has failed. what else can I do? So be it. I've enjoyed power and wealth for the last 10 years, the likes of which Caesar could never give me. I wouldn't choose for things to end this way.
And maybe there's reasons for that.
Very well. In that case, I'll contact the guards. Traveler, Paimon, keep an eye on Lorenzo for me.
Will do.
I'll meet you just
Now,
outside
Paimon,
the workshop when I'm back.
Don't let us lose sight of him.
At least I can finally
Yeah,
stop.
Good riddance to you. How did a master who, you know, cares about his craft as something special, as something joyful, and something for which he can do something selfless and care about the people of the world, and then with an apprentice like you, it's like it's polar opposite. It's only about money and fame and, you know, all these things that really make it so you lose the spirit of the craft, which is really to bring entertainment and joy to people. Alright, well, I guess you're gonna be thrown in jail now, so. Goodbye to you. And you confessed as well. So, I guess that'll be the next new craze for the headlines, right? Uh-oh, he's gonna break that, isn't he? There you go.
Lyney has told me the whole story.
Yeah.
Lorenzo, do you confess to the murder of Caesar and to framing him for the Phantom Weasel's crimes?
Look who's finally developed a conscience.
Yeah, he's actually being suspiciously
What kind of disciple murders their
cooperative.
own master? I hope it was worth it, because there'll be hell to pay.
Yeah, he's being suspiciously cooperative. I'm not sure if it's really he's given up or...
Looks like it's all over. What should we do next, Lyney? Should we start preparing for your show?
Also, about the journal we saw.
Let's rendezvous with Lynette and Gemma first. With Lorenzo in custody, Gemma will no longer have to fear for her safety.
Yeah.
Good point.
And,
we should go tell
and
Gemma
we
the
also
good news
found
right
out what
away.
happened.
It'll give her some peace of mind
Yeah.
for sure.
We also found out what happened, so I hope that she'll get the closure that she never got before. That she can finally, you know, she can be at peace knowing what happened and it being out there for the public to know as well that it wasn't his fault. Hello, Lynette. It seems like you've done a wonderful job considering you are still here and Gemma is still here and you don't look like you're any more beaten up than before.
Ah, you're back.
Hi.
You were so quick. I've only just finished my third dessert.
No worries.
Your third? Lynette, come on, we've talked about this. Everything in moderation.
No, for dinner, but she's probably been sitting here for days now, though.
It's
I guess
fine.
3 days.
I'll
We had
shift
3
to
days to do
exercise
this.
mode and jog off the excess sugar.
That's besides the point. Well, it's done now. But try to eat a more balanced diet in the future.
Point.
Oh, I love that face.
Did everything go okay?
I mean, the danger that you warned us about was there, but it's okay. We were ready to handle it, and it's much better that
Gosh, that's
that
amazing.
we took it.
I'm
the,
sorry.
The fight.
I still didn't know if I could
that we
trust you.
could do the
but
fighting
now it seems I can.
on your
I
behalf.
had my suspicions about Lorenzo, but I...
It's okay. We understand. He did threaten you. Paimon would find it hard to trust strangers in your
Yeah, no
position
worries.
too.
You're just trying to protect yourself.
But you don't need to be scared anymore. Everything's
Yeah, he's
gonna be
arrested.
okay.
So.
Sorry. Sorry. My emotions are all over the place right now. I've been waiting for this day to come for so long. I always wanted to report Lorenzo. He took all of Caesar's property, which I found suspicious. But I had people watching me all the time, so I couldn't risk looking into it.
It's okay. You don't need to worry about that anymore.
I was so afraid. I was scared he'd do something terrible to me, and then no one would be left to visit Caesar's grave. So I never had the courage to speak out.
It's okay.
Thank you all. Truly. Thank you so much.
Thank you all for clearing Caesar's name.
Yeah, no worries. It was the right
I
thing to
never would have
do.
guessed that Lorenzo was the real Phantom Weasel. He never showed any signs that there were problems between him and Caesar in public. From the outside, it looked like they got
Just
along
another
great.
magician's trick.
Ugh, to think that lowlife's been living life to the fullest all this time, while Caesar's name was getting dragged through the mud. It's a travesty. At least his soul can finally rest in peace now, thanks to your efforts.
Yeah, I'm glad too.
If only I'd realized before it was too late.
Don't blame yourself, Gemma. This isn't your fault.
Yeah, you still have the rest of your life to live. Caesar wouldn't want to see you spending it feeling guilty.
Cheer up, Gemma. My brother's doing a magic show at the Opera House tomorrow evening. Would you like to come along? It might raise your spirits. This show will be a special one. We're holding it in Caesar's honor.
In Caesar's honor? Really? Oh, thank you. I'll be there.
This is so nice.
Great. We'll see you tomorrow evening. Traveler, Paimon, don't be late.
We won't be late.
Don't worry.
We've been
we'll be
waiting
there.
for this.
No way are we gonna miss out on a free magic show.
Yeah. And this time, nobody is gonna die.
Wait,
Right?
Paimon feels like we're forgetting
The journal with the two kids.
Oh yeah, Caesar's diary! We never found out if the two kids Caesar taught magic to were Lyney and Lynette or not. Lyney changed the topic back in the workshop, so we didn't get a chance to bring it up. Oh well. Guess we'll just have to ask Lyney tomorrow evening.
Well, I'm glad though that the whole Fontaine storyline, I think, is gonna end up being a lot of stories where somebody didn't get justice. So now everyone left behind is there to help make sure that justice has been achieved. The justice has been brought. That the real criminals get what they deserve. And that those that suffered along the way will be able to find peace. It's very ironic that the nation of justice is filled with injustice, but that's just a very interesting theme, right? Alright, let's see. The Fountain of Lucine. No, you can't be yawning, Ether. We're about to go watch a magic show. And most importantly, we saved another... Well, this one wasn't a cold case, but we've cleared the wrongdoing of an innocent person. Someone who just wanted to do good, in fact. We made it so he can rest in peace. I heard that if you go into the Fountain of Lucine, you can hear, like, voices. If you, like, turn the volume way down, up for the voices. I swear when I stepped in there I heard a voice coming from the fountain. Not the ones outside the fountain. Anyway. Definitely some mysteries there that we're going to have to solve in our continued journeys through Fontaine. Some magic show at the Opera House. Do we want to watch from up there or no? We'll watch down here. We get front row seats, right? And just as Lyney said, everyone gets assigned seating. I see Lynette. And Gemma, hello! Oh, there's Charlotte as well. What is Lynette doing in the audience?
Paimon's excited to see another of Lyney's magic shows! Wait. Lynette, shouldn't you be on stage?
Yeah.
Not this time. My brother's going solo today.
Solo, interesting.
So I'll be watching with you.
Alright. Cool.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everybody's ready because the show is about to begin.
The great
Yay!
Magician Lyney has prepared a spectacular show for us all tonight.
Oh no, is he gonna try the dropping out of the box
that
thing?
no audience has ever seen before.
Thank you all so much for coming. Now, prepare to join me on a journey through the mystical and miraculous.
Lyney wows the audience with his skill.
Exciting stuff, isn't it?
Yes, it's just... It reminds me of him.
No wonder. Caesar was a famous magician too.
Yeah.
So, how did you two first meet, Gemma?
Well, I was out on the street once, and I saw him performing for little children. Children love magic, because they're willing to believe in things that can't be rationally explained. Caesar had this amazing way of bringing them into a dreamlike world. And somehow, I felt drawn to him too. So I went up and asked him to do a trick for me.
Aw, that sounds so romantic. What trick did he do?
It was with a flower. He took it in his hand, snapped his fingers, and it magically appeared on my head.
Aww.
I was so happy that day. No one had ever given me a flower before that.
Oh, that's so cute. Actually, now that you mention it, Lyney's done that one
He
before.
did. He did it to us.
Is that right? Then I suppose he's a romantic at heart, just like
He
Caesar.
gave us a flower that represents
So
parting,
let's
though.
treasure the time we have with him. After all, you never know when the people dearest to you might be gone.
Yeah. That's why I really believe in, genuinely believe in telling people in your life that you love them or that they're important to you as often as you can. You never know when the people dearest to you might be gone. Make sure you always just you never know. Don't be sad, the killer has been caught.
That's right. It's all over now. Paimon doesn't really know how to comfort you, but at the very least, no one's gonna be intimidating you from now on. You can breathe easy at last, right?
Right. Yes, you can breathe easy now, Phantom Weasel.
See?
Wait.
Even Lynette says... Wait, what? The Phantom Weasel? Lorenzo escaped? Where is he?
What do you mean, Phantom Weasel?
As Lyney once said, a performer's job is to commit fully to their role.
See, that
and
was
put on
my
a flawless
initial
performance
thought.
for their audience.
No way at
But
this
once
point.
the bag of tricks is empty and the curtain falls, it's time to end the show. The spotlight is no place for someone with no more cards up their sleeve. It's been 10 years, Gemma. Aren't you tired of the grieving widow act? I think it's time to put
Hang
an
on,
end to
hang
it.
on. No way. No way is she the... I mean, that was my initial... Okay, I thought this was going to be another situation of like... At the very beginning, I was suspecting Gemma. But it felt so bad. And I thought to myself, oh no, this is going to be one of those cases where I accuse somebody and it wasn't them and I'm going to feel awful. And that's what I was really feeling in the back of my mind is I feel awful, but I don't want to dwell on that. You know, it's not the first time I've done that. You know, sometimes they really make it like they're trying to reverse psychology or like try to distract you from something. Was she actually the thief? But I guess that makes sense. In terms of, even if Lorenzo was the one that... Unless was she and Lorenzo working together. But they didn't even have to be, because Lorenzo could have killed him and she could have... There's nothing to implicate that he was also the weasel. Really, other than reconnect the cases. But maybe that makes sense. Maybe if he did love another woman, maybe that woman loves him back. And maybe they worked together. Hold on.
What are you talking about?
Thankfully, nothing ever gets past Lynette.
Traveler, Paimon doesn't like where this is going. Come on,
Yeah, I don't like where this is going either.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all enjoying the
Who
performance.
is this
so
Robert
far.
Houdin? Like
There will now be
Houdini,
a
but
brief
Houdin
intermission,
that's
after
here.
which Lyney will perform the most electrifying act of tonight's show.
Oh, don't
the
say
one
electrifying.
We've all been waiting for. The final performance will take place outside of the Opera House, so please make your way outside in a calm and orderly fashion.
I gotta grab the thing up there. The
Phantom Weasel never did like public
purple
places,
hair.
did they? Don't worry, this place will be quiet soon.
Bye, Charlotte.
Let's talk somewhere else for now.
Ask about the truth. Oh no. I don't know if I made it clear before. My literal thought was, what if she's the Phantom? Like I said, that's why I said at the beginning, the Phantom Thief is either actually Caesar or it's somebody close to him. If he was killed, he was killed by somebody close to him. And if he was killed and he wasn't the thief, he was killed by somebody close to him. And if he was the thief, whoever's the returning thief is also someone close to him. I wasn't thinking Lorenzo at that. We didn't know about Lorenzo, and I wasn't thinking Lorenzo as someone close to him. I was thinking, wouldn't it be so perfect if somehow Gemma turns out to be just putting on an act? But then as the story went on, I was feeling really bad about feeling that way. I was feeling like, she's been robbed of a life together with him. But what if? What if that is not the truth? Where is this quiet? Oh, over here. Well, you're not escaping with Lynette here. And like I said, nothing gets past her. And something about Gemma didn't like the kids, right? Or like, not just the kids, but the two kids.
This is awkward, isn't it? And unfortunately, I'm all out of gadgets, so I'm afraid I can't do any tricks to liven up the mood.
Okay, at least he didn't try that falling out of the box one.
This is a big mistake for a magician to make, but thankfully, I do have a backup plan. Now, who wants to hear a story?
Me?
Lyney, don't we have more important things to address right now?
Paimon, let him explain, Paimon, please. The story always explains everything, because everything has a story.
Magicians are good at guessing what people are thinking. I know the questions you want to ask. And as it happens, the story I'm about to tell might answer a few of them.
Really? Well then, let's hear it! Paimon's dying of
Because
curiosity.
he was just pretending not to know Caesar.
Beginning.
He does know him
A decade
because
ago,
they work
when
together.
the Phantom Weasel was terrorizing the court of Fontaine. She never missed a target, never left a trace, and no treasure was safe from her thieving hands. But as her infamy grew, so did the readiness of the police, and her opportunities to act became ever fewer. Every day, she ran the risk of being exposed for who she was. Of course, she could not simply take this lying down, and before long, she found her ticket to freedom. She would create a scapegoat, a false weasel to close the chapter on her behalf. After weighing her options, she set her sights on a renowned magician, Caesar. After all, magic and theft shared enough similarities for people to buy the story when the truth came out.
So then what?
Being the master deceiver she was, the weasel easily earned Caesar's trust. Now, all that remained was to frame him for her countless crimes. But as she was considering how to make her move, she noticed Caesar's aggrieved pupil, and a new thought entered her mind. Maybe I don't need to get my hands dirty after all.
Just prompt him to do the hard work for her.
Lorenzo tampered with Caesar's magic box, causing him to fall to his death. Afterwards, Lorenzo seized his master's property, and the weasel set about tarnishing Caesar's reputation. Two co-conspirators committed the perfect crime.
Well, that adds up.
I've got to hand it to you. You're both exceptional storytellers. It's enough to make even me wonder whether there was really another mastermind behind all this, pulling the strings. But I just have one question. You seem to think that I am the villain in this tale. What's brought this on, Lyney? Is it something that Lorenzo said?
Don't worry, Lorenzo said nothing at all. But I never believed that he was the weasel, and in fact, my investigation only made me more certain of that.
I was thinking, this guy is way too cooperative,
as if there was something
considering
else he was
how
trying to
much
hide.
fighting spirit he just
How
had.
disappointing. So you'd sooner trust Lorenzo than me? Even without a shred of evidence?
Well, you're getting quite defensive right now.
A magician
So,
is
you
an
know.
expert at playing the audience to get the result they want. And I have no doubt that you, Gemma, are equally talented in this regard. With a little help from Lorenzo, you put on a very convincing performance. The lovesick fiancé, whose devotion to her betrothed is unshakable, even under threats of violence.
Although
Caesar
it does seem like she was
maligned and
genuinely
hated
beat
by
up
all
for the
10
act, so that
years,
is
but
actually
you?
quite some dedication
Everyone
then.
sympathized with your plight. Who would suspect for 1 second that the lovely young lady always seen weeping in front of Caesar's grave was actually the mastermind behind his demise? No, not that poor lady. Perish the thought.
Perish the thought.
Wait, so you mean the whole intimidation thing was just a hoax? Gemma and Lorenzo were both in
Well,
on
I suppose they really did have you fooled there, Paimon.
Lorenzo admitted that? And why didn't he sell her out even at the end instead of admitting to being
Because he loved her, right?
Yes, why indeed?
That's what the drunk
Maybe
guy was
Gemma
saying, because he
herself
loved
could
her,
enlighten
and
us
that's
on
why
that
he wouldn't
question.
betray her.
Well, Lyney, if you're so confident in your version of events, then I think the answer should be obvious. Having killed Caesar with his own hands, Lorenzo was plagued by overwhelming guilt. Revealing the Phantom Weasel's true identity would serve no purpose. But if the Weasel remained free, then she could take care of Lorenzo's loved ones.
An excellent answer, though sadly a little dull.
Is that right? Well, don't let me bore you. If you'd care to change the topic to something more interesting, I'd be much obliged.
As a matter of fact, there's one thing I'd really like to understand. Why would the real weasel have targeted things that only have value to other people? Could you shed any light on that?
Why did you take the most important things away
Of
from
course.
people?
After all, we're just telling stories here, aren't we?
Yeah, we're just telling stories.
If
We're not
I
going to
had
call
to
the police or
guess,
anything.
I would say that the real weasel must have had a terrible childhood.
Okay.
Left to fend for herself after her parents died young. Betrayed, scorned, beaten. She'd scrounge waste paper from garbage bins to draw on, using twigs and dirt for lack of ink and pen. She'd sew ugly rag dolls from whatever scrap material she could get her hands on. This was her only source of happiness in life. But it was all she needed, and she was content. Until the world decided that even this was too good for her. Once again, she was betrayed. And this time, everything was taken from her. She felt like life was a miry pit that dragged her further down the more she struggled to escape. At that tender age, she should have been happy. Instead, she stood in the shadows and watched with envy as all good things in the world passed her by. This was a fate too cruel for anyone to bear. Her pain became a breeding ground for dark thoughts. Thoughts which festered and grew into a twisted solution to her troubles. I detest the happiness of others, in all its forms alike. I will rob them of everything they hold to be good and true, and it will fill the void in my soul.
That's some pretty heavy stuff.
And did it work?
Now it all
Did it
makes
fill
sense.
your soul?
Does this story satisfy you, Lyney?
Yes, it is quite to my tastes. Thank you for helping to clear up my confusion.
So what was with the warning letter?
Huh. That's right. What drove you to write that letter, Gemma? What were you trying to achieve there? Because without that, none of this would have ever come to light.
She didn't write the letter.
After 10 long years, I'd hoped that the Phantom Weasel would be consigned to the history books by now.
Yeah, you
But
moved
it
on.
seems like someone
Maybe.
still wasn't
Did you
ready to
move
let her
on?
finally be at peace.
But
Lyney. Or should I call you the Phantom Copycat now? You were the one who posted that letter
he's a
outside the Opera
copycat
House.
because he's a cat guy.
But why?
Very sharp, Phantom Weasel. Still as shrewd as
Has
ever.
to lure her out, right?
Well, no need for me to be coy about it. Our goal was to clear Caesar's name. The most straightforward way to change the public's impression of Caesar was to force the Weasel to show themselves.
That's it? You had no other agenda?
Of course we did. We made it quite clear in the letter, I believe. I shall take from you that which you hold most dear, just as you did to me 10 years ago.
10 years ago?
So it was
You mean
him.
Caesar's
the
death?
kids, is Lyney and Lynette.
You met him? Wait. Oh, I get it. You were those two obnoxious kids. It's been so long, and you're all grown up now. I didn't recognize you. He taught you magic back then, didn't he? For what, 10 days or something? And you went to all this trouble. Why? Because you feel like you still owe him something?
We remember all our debts, however great or small. 10 years ago, Caesar's reputation was torn to shreds, and his legacy was thrown out. 10 years on, and no one cares what the truth is anymore. But we did not forget, and so we came to find you.
And? What exactly did you take from me? I'm still standing, as you can see. Lorenzo has admitted to everything. I'm
Except
free.
you've been talking this whole time?
Free? Do you really think so? Caesar once told me that even though the world is filled with lies and falsehoods, we must find our own truth. I think that applies to you too. Truth can take many forms. Prized possessions with nostalgic value, fervent hopes and dreams, and irreplaceable people. Life took many things from you, and those wounds never healed. When they ached unbearably in the dead of night, stealing became your way of numbing the pain.
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying that for the last 10 years, you've been living a rather uneventful life. Perhaps that's because you found something other than a life of crime to fill the hole? Back to Lorenzo for a second. He murdered his own master, played along with your act, and took pains to make sure any suspicion would be directed towards him. But what did he have to gain from all that? He knew who you were and the things you'd done, and despite that, he was willing to give everything up for your sake. He's the reason that you haven't felt the compulsion to steal in all these years. You're more than just accomplices in murder. You're the only real friends each other has. So I think you know
twisted
deep
as that
down
is.
that he is the only truth
true.
you have in your life. But that truth is gone now, and I guarantee you, you'll never see it again.
Congratulations on your freedom, Gemma.
Your freedom will cost you dearly. From now on, you'll be all alone in a world full of lies and falsehoods. I do hope you'll be able to bear it. You've still got a long life ahead of you after all.
Gather round, one and all. The time has now come for the amazing Lyney to perform his final
Oh, I
act
thought
of
he was
tonight's
done from
show.
performing that act. This is quite a long
I'm sure you're all
break we
wondering
got.
what he has planned for the grand finale. Well,
No.
wonder no more, for the
I guess
answer
it's
is
symbolic. He has to
a
do it to complete it for his master.
high-altitude escape.
A high-altitude escape?
Alright. Yeah. Quite a mystery that we've just unraveled there. But that makes sense. He would take something from you just like you took something from him 10 years ago. Yeah, and they were the kids. So he was just kind of pretending like, oh, Caesar is just some guy, but yeah, that makes sense. Caesar was actually the one who taught him and Lynette a lot of... Man, probably, as Caesar said in his diary, like the two kids are actually incredibly knowledgeable about magic already. And he just kind of guided them on what to do and how to be performers, not just doing magic tricks. So if I had to guess, probably the most important thing he taught them was that magic can be used to care for people. And that's really important because the two of them had lived in a world full of lies and deception themselves, and had always just been taken advantage of by others. But then they met Arlecchino and then Caesar, and that helps them not become like Gemma and have little rays of light to give them purpose and hope and not fall down a dark path because of the way that they had been abused as kids. You don't have to do this though. He's gonna do it outside too. If he does it outside, you can't even hide the back of the box, right?
I'm sure you all remember the magician Caesar. This was the very trick that led to his fatal fall, after which he was dubbed the Phantom Weasel. But we have now learned that Caesar was wrongly accused, and that the real Weasel has now confessed to their crime.
Guess that's my cue to leave. Whew. I've been practicing this one for ages now, but I'm still a little nervous. Traveler,
I'm nervous for you.
I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. There may be a lot of people watching tonight, but you alone are my true witnesses.
I am concerned because
Lyney,
he's revealed
wait.
the trick and he actually could die.
You two hid a lot from Caesar. He went to his grave without ever knowing your secrets. So what about now? Are you an open book? Or are you still the same as ever?
I think he's still the
You
same
don't
as
have
ever.
to tell lies to end up isolated and alone. One day, you'll end up exactly where I am today. Maybe then you'll finally understand.
You're wrong. I'm nothing like you.
Because he is...
So,
he has a purpose in life other than vengeance.
Like Lyney said, when you're ready, let's head outside and watch the show.
But what about Gemma?
She'll figure out what's best for her soon enough. Oh, and if you'd like to see Lyney after the show, you know where he'll be. The usual haunt.
The usual haunt.
Well, let's go and watch Lyney's finale then.
Yeah, and he could
This
actually
trick's a
die,
pretty
so I
dangerous
don't
one,
like
but
that.
he should be able to pull it off.
He told us the secret, so I know that this is the real deal.
What is my truth? Sometimes I think I'm like a gambling addict. All I care about is winning, and it doesn't matter what's at stake. By the time I come to my senses, I'm left with nothing. Oh, if I had my time again.
Yeah, I think that's punishment enough for her.
Magicians are not like thieves. Thieves only tear things apart. But good-hearted magicians, they put things back together.
That's right. That's what we've learned today. I knew it. I knew it was gonna be a story that's gonna make me feel really sad, but in a bittersweet sort of way. And of course, any story with Lyney is a mystery waiting to be unraveled. So the puzzle pieces were really interesting to put together here. Oh, hi, Charlotte.
Magic should be mysterious, surprising, and defy logic. Magic is hard work. Every single movement has to be practiced thousands of times.
It's alright. We're used to that.
You're small.
We're sorry. You've taught us so much, but we can't tell you the whole truth.
It's okay. Do you still remember what I told you? This world is full of lies and falsehoods. I only hope that one day, you can find your own truth.
What about you? Have you found your truth?
Magic is my truth. I want to perform a magic trick so great that people will always think of me when they talk about it. For a magician, what greater honor could there be?
Look!
Behold! Lyney is sealed inside the box. Will he manage to escape? 10 years ago, Caesar attempted this very trick, and it was at this precise moment that...
Watch out!
Lyney!
Mysterious. Surprising. And logic-defying. Isn't that right? This honor belongs to you, Caesar.
Look at the flower petals.
I'm just sorry it's a little late.
Did you see that? 1 minute he was falling, and the next, he turned into flowers.
How could he possibly have done that?
How mysterious. I didn't blink once. He just vanished right in front of my eyes.
What a heart-stopping magic show. This was really worth the trip. Caesar's name has finally been cleared, and Fontaine's new star magician Lyney has fulfilled a wish on his behalf. Oh, I couldn't ask for a better
I thought I
grand
saw a
finale.
person disappear
We'll
behind you
make a
there.
great headline for the Steamberg tomorrow.
Like,
even if I do
disappear, but
say
they
so
shouldn't have
myself.
disappeared.
Looks like everyone really
But
loves
maybe
Lyney's
my brain is just... Even though they don't know the full story.
Paimon doesn't see Lyney anywhere. Where'd he go?
Well, the old haunt, right?
Lynette said he'd be waiting for us at the usual haunt. But,
Oh, the cemetery.
where is that?
Cemetery.
Oh, you mean the one where Caesar's buried? Yeah, that's probably it. This whole magic show kinda seemed like Lyney's way of saying goodbye to Caesar. So it makes sense that that's where he'd be afterward. Alright, let's go look for him there.
Yeah. Let's do that. I realize now the whole irony about how everyone was saying that like Gemma is the one that's left behind to be thinking about Caesar after he died because everyone thought he was the thief. And how really she wasn't thinking about him at all, she was thinking about herself. Whereas Lyney and Lynette, unbeknownst to everyone, were the ones who were keeping his memory alive. And that's why they fought to bring justice to him. To clear his name and restore his honor. We're going to be doing a lot of that, aren't we? Restoring honor. I mean, we did that for Lyney himself, too. A lot of pointing fingers happen in this nation. Isn't there? It was you. No, it was you. It was all of you for turning a blind eye on this. Hello there, Lyney.
Lyney! There you are. Are you alright? Paimon was scared to death when the chain broke. Paimon was sure something had gone horribly wrong.
Magic is a performance art. a magician has to get creative to keep the audience on tenterhooks. That's our job. So I tweaked Caesar's original setup a little to keep it fresh. I was honestly a little nervous during the live performance. The thought of falling, suddenly feeling weightless, seeing the sky and the ground spinning and spinning. Sometimes, I can't help but wonder what Caesar thought in those final moments. Did he regret taking Gemma and Lorenzo on? Or did he believe that it was his own slip-up right until the end?
You know, Paimon's been wanting to ask you about something ever since we were in Caesar's workshop. You learned magic from Caesar once, didn't you? When was that?
After I joined the House of the Hearth. To be honest, Lynette and I had an agenda when we approached him.
An agenda?
I told you about my past before, remember? As a young boy, I survived by secretly learning magic from street performers. I'd watch their tricks and try to figure out how they were done.
That's right, I remember.
But I quickly realized that observation alone could only get me so far. What I saw was the polished final performance, but the rigorous training they put in behind the scenes remained invisible to me. I needed to learn how to improve my sleight of hand, hone my misdirection skills, and make niftier props. We were gifted enough that we'd made some progress by ourselves, but without proper guidance from a professional magician, we quickly plateaued.
So that's why you sought Caesar out?
Yes. We figured there was no harm in asking, but it took us by surprise that he was so willing to teach us. In all, we only spent 10 short days together, but he was very good to us. By contrast, we hid so many things from him. For instance, when he asked why I wanted to learn magic, I answered, "It's my passion." But in truth, there was already a lot more to the story by then. After being taken in by an aristocrat for our magic talent, then betrayed soon after, this was no longer about me doing what I loved. What amazed me was how the lie escaped my lips even as I was hesitating over whether to tell him the truth. Trust is a beautiful thing. Sadly, I'd forgotten how to trust by then.
Lyney. It wasn't your fault.
Still worried about the way I feel? You really are a gentle soul, aren't you? But don't worry, I'm used to it now. From the mansions of the elite to the House of the Hearth, lies and selfishness have followed me and Lynette everywhere we go. After Caesar went on tour, we became busy with our missions. The next we heard of him was that he'd fallen to his death, and was now declared to be the Phantom Weasel. That night, I remembered his smile. But as I lay there, I didn't know what to say to him. To keep secrets is to put up walls. The longer you keep them up, the less you let people in. Then, one day, you look around and realize your life is like an empty auditorium after a show, full of seats once occupied by all the people who left. But I guess that's the price we have to pay. You only realize how much someone really meant to you when you lose them completely. That's why I was so confident this would hurt Gemma. Because I felt it for myself.
Did you hear the way they said that? Because he felt it for himself. Yeah, don't be sad.
Yeah, cheer up, Lyney.
Don't be sad as I say.
We've had to say our fair share of goodbyes during our journey, too. But whatever happens, Paimon always believes in what tomorrow brings. Delicious food, fun toys, and the traveler by my side. Paimon just needs to focus on things like this, and all the unhappy stuff goes right out the window. You know, Traveler, doesn't that kinda make you Paimon's truth?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the same for me and Lynette. We are the truest thing each other has in the world, and nothing can replace that. Life has taken plenty from us, like it did from Gemma. But at least it left us with each other. That's what gave us the strength to get through the darkest days.
Yeah.
That's why the
And also
darkness
you
never
can't separate
consumed me
Lyney
and why
and
it never
Lynette.
will. Maybe we live in the shadows
They're
too,
all-
but we remember every precious ray of
They're
light
all
that
each
shines
other
through.
has.
All
That's right,
right,
a ray of light.
time to lighten this conversation up a little. What did you think of the show tonight? Were you happy with it?
It was amazing!
Yes, I
Part of
guess.
just wishes we hadn't been so
You scare me a
distracted with
lot,
the Gemma
but yes.
situation. We spent most of our time in the opera house just talking and pretty much missed the entire first half of the show. Lyney, could you do just one more trick for us?
Whoa, that's a bit of a tall order, I'm afraid. The show's just finished, so my sleeves are decidedly card-free right now.
Aw, come on! Surely you can think of something. The Lyney Paimon knows can do anything if he puts his mind to it.
That's true.
Oh, all right then. I'll give it a go, but only because it's you. Watch closely. I have a flower in my hand.
You liar! There's nothing in your hand. We ain't going along with this.
Huh? My goodness, you're right. But I could have sworn I brought one here with me.
Oh no.
Okay, try this. Count down with me. 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
2, 1.
Now, have another look around. Maybe the flowers appear.
Oh, he put a
somewhere
rose
else.
on. He gave us a rose.
Let's see.
Dot, dot, dot.
Oh, there it is! Oh, this is a different flower from the last time, right? This one's called, oh yeah, a rainbow rose. But more importantly, Paimon has to know how the trick is done, please!
So first he gave us a flower that represents parting,
If you
and then
want
he
to
gave
learn
us a
magic, you'll
flower
have to
that
start by
represents
addressing me as
romanticism.
teacher.
Oh, Lyney.
Since you asked so nicely, I'll share one little tip with you. Namely, the student of magic cannot solely rely on others being prepared to reveal their secrets. You have to observe, think, and find the answers for yourself.
Is that it?
Ah, look at the time. We shouldn't linger here too long. Thanks again for coming to see my show. I bid you both good night.
Good night, Lyney.
I look forward to seeing you again.
Me too.
Alright, fine. See ya!
Oh, do we get to keep the flower?
Oh, Paimon can't wait to read the Steambird tomorrow. Paimon bets Lyney and Caesar will be plastered all over it.
Who knows how how it'll be portrayed. What did Charlotte write? The interview. Oh, there's more. Well, he gave us a... We're not wearing it anymore. No. But yeah, that's a really important message. When you live in a world full of lies and deception, you almost need to find a truth, something that's true to you, as your anchor, as a thing that connects you to this world, that brings you back to Earth, and back to yourself too. And just like Paimon said, the traveling Paimon, Lyney and Lynette, you can't separate those pairs because in a world that's always changing, you need to have something that stays, at least something out there that stays the same. Yeah. It's so amazing to me in the story how everything sort of connects. Like I am a little bit upset that I did suspect Gemma and that she had me fooled into thinking I was gonna feel really bad for suspecting her. Only for that to be... You know what? Sometimes I feel like I trust my instincts more often. You know what? More often than not, my suspicions are correct. There's a few times when it hasn't been correct, but you know what? If my instinct is telling me that she's being suspiciously, that's the thing, is like, I tend to be a pretty sensitive person myself. It's like, I don't want to say that I see somebody crying because they lost somebody they loved, that's a sign that they're actually, like, the one who did it. I mean, you never say that in most cases. But in this case, it kind of added up. And yet we didn't have evidence for that yet, so I just felt really bad. But then it turned out to be true. So thanks, Gemma. And I do feel bad because of her backstory. But then I also look to characters like, Lyney and Lynette, who went through something similar as kids, and yet they didn't turn out the same way. I mean, it's not my place to say that things could have turned out differently for her, because things just turned out the way that they did, because sometimes things are within your control, and sometimes it really is luck, a matter of who you met and what happened to you in a certain point in time. And, things happen to Lyney and Lynette too. A lot of bad things, but also a lot of things that turn their lives around for the better as well. And that doesn't happen for everyone, and that doesn't, nor does that make up for the experiences they had in the past either. It doesn't change the way that they've been hurt, but what it does change is their way to be able to look at what happened to them and overcome those challenges. Decide for themselves, when they have the strength to do so, what they're going to choose to do with their lives. Are they going to take happiness from people like the Phantom Weasel? Or are they going to bring happiness to an otter? Are they going to... No! Why is it locked up? No, go free. Go free. All of these poor creatures... Wait, you give me treasure? Oh my gosh, they're so cute! I'm sorry, I completely forgot what I was talking about. But my nose that left me with the sad emotion. You're free! Oh my gosh! When you interact with the otters, then they follow you around. Okay, why is this blubber beast just swimming that way? No! No hurting it! I just want to take the power. Well, maybe this will help me lure it out of the box. I didn't want to hurt it. I'm sorry. Please leave. Okay, good. You're out. Okay, you're safe now. Okay, there's another one here. I'm sorry, what were we talking? Oh yeah, we're talking about Lynette's story. Okay, so it seems our sea otter buddies are with... No, there's more! What happened? Who locked them all up? How could they? Okay, the otters gave me treasure. Would these guys give me treasure? There's probably another one. There's gotta be a reason why, right? This bird is on the verge of drowning. Just a little bit more in the water, it's gonna just become foul on the spot. Okay, hang on. Come on. Come on. Sorry. I don't mean to press it. No. Just look. Just make it easy. Why are they not leaving their cages? Is there any more down here? I'll see you down here. Okay, that one left. I don't want to hurt them anymore. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna hurt them anymore. I'm gonna physically nudge them out of here. This is helping me kill some time before our interview the next morning. Okay, but I am so happy that there's otters here, albeit they're not following me anymore. I hope they're not disappointed that I accidentally... No! Stop hitting that button! Hurt the blubber beasts. Okay, which are all swimming free at the moment, I believe. Alright, well, I think we've done our job here. We've freed the otters, we've freed the blubber beasts, and got some treasure for it. Alright, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to go. Everyone say bye to the otters. Bye. Alright, is it past time already? It is not. Charlotte! Go to the Steambird's offices. Okay, bye! Bye, little otters! Anyway, Lyney and Lynette's. That's Lyney and Lynette's. Oh, they're already here for the interview.
I'm very sorry, Charlotte, but my sister and I are quite busy today. I'm afraid we'll have to decline this interview.
Oh, please, Lyney, I'll only take a moment of your time. If you would
A
be so
moment of
kind.
your time. 2 hours.
What's happening here?
I spent all night writing my piece about the Phantom Weasel, and it was going to go to print this morning. But just as dawn broke, I suddenly received news that Caesar's fiancée, Gemma, had contacted the guards and confessed to having been the real Phantom Weasel all along.
That was quick.
That was... I mean, yeah, sorry. Just nothing.
Too late,
Wow.
Ooh, that was quick, you say? It sounds like I've got some catching up to do. Please, fill me in.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Aha! My instincts did not lead me astray. You do have something to hide. Gemma turning herself in must have something to do
I
with
know
what
why
was
though.
last
Charlotte
night.
constantly
Watching
pestering
my
people
high-altitude
is a
escape
little
trip
bit
reminded her
annoying.
of a better time with Caesar, and she could no longer ignore the voice of her conscience.
Huh. Okay then. Wait, no, there must be more to it. If that's all it took for her to have a change of heart, how did it take her 10 whole years?
Well...
Charlotte's journalistic spirit is burning red. We're gonna just have to distract her somehow.
I remember now. You and Gemma were nowhere to be found after the show. What happened between you?
Well, he was setting up his magic
Where did
trick.
you all go after the show?
You know, he was setting up
To
the
the
trap.
cemetery, and Lyney did a private magic trick just for us.
True.
Actually, glad you mentioned it, because that reminds Paimon. Guess what? Lyney started using rainbow roses in his tricks.
Well, Lyney.
I don't recall ever having received a rainbow rose from you myself. Is this supposed to mean that they're more important to you than your own sister?
No, I just,
What now? Oh, did Paimon say something wrong again?
You might have.
This is getting pretty
You might have revealed.
Seems like this interview wasn't meant to be. Well, never mind.
Wow, that was
Always
quick
next
to deflect
Forgive
her.
my persistence, but when there's explosive news waiting to be found, I can't
Yeah.
turn away.
I know.
Gemma has
You're kind
already
of
made
almost fueling the
I'll
problem
stop at
here with
nothing to get to the
people's
bottom of it all.
obsession
one
with
of the things she
entertainment
said to the
in this
guards was that
nation,
her
but
final wish
it's
is to
okay.
see
You're just doing
Lorenzo
your
one
job.
last time.
You're not the one I'm really
Clearly a web of
after.
complicated relationships there. Can't blame me for being curious. All right, I guess I'll leave you to continue the rest of your conversation in peace. Bye for now.
Okay, so we deflected her quite quickly there, but sorry, Charlotte. I guess.
Lynette? Paimon didn't mean to.
Don't worry, I wasn't angry. I was just trying to distract her.
Yeah, I think we all did a good job there. Except I think we really made
You and me
Lyney
both, Paimon.
flustered.
You and me both. At least it did the job, right?
Yeah,
Please, take good care of that rainbow rose.
I will.
I'd be really upset if you lost it.
I will cherish it. Well, I guess I guess Lyney has something. I really think there's something for us to say then. To say to us. I mean, look, I'm tired. I'm tired, and I knew that this was gonna be an emotional roller coaster, and it was. But we learned a little bit more about Lyney and Lynette. and their drive to not only, I mean, it's like, for Lyney, if magic was once his passion and it's now become a tool that's was once used by others and now it's become a tool used by himself, then it must have been really important in that moment for him to realize, right? Finding a truth, finding something that is true to yourself, true in this world is really important. There were so many twists and turns in that one. I like to try and predict what goes on, but I also don't like. I don't like pointing fingers at people. So yeah, don't like being confrontational. So that's really how Gemma had everyone fooled, right? Nobody's gonna blame her, the widow who cries at the cemetery every day. And Lyney and Lynette, they've finally been able to close that chapter of history and also take what they learned into the future. And who knows what the future holds, because I don't think this is the last we're seeing of those two. And this is not the last we're seeing of Lyney and Lynette, and it's not the last we're seeing of the House of the Hearth. So I'm excited to see what we learn more too. But he gave us a flower for parting, and then gave us a flower for romance in that order. What does that mean? Like, he thinks we're gonna break up with him? No, wait, the other way around. Look, I'm getting confused. Okay. Good night, everyone. I'm gonna try out using Femine a little bit more and see how that goes. But yeah. Goodbye. Bye, Lyney. Goodbye, Lynette. Goodbye, everyone. I'll see you next time. See ya. It's been almost 3 hours. Okay, good night.